Welcome, one and all, to this Thursday night edition of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
Tim.
Dave's still adjusting his set as we get into things. Just, for those that have no context, which is everyone apart from myself, Dave and Tim, Dave was rearranging his set and his lighting all about 30 seconds ago. So we're just picking up where we left off a minute ago.
Make a great blooper. Go on, Phil.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us. Got a lot to get through. We're going to review the latest from Jorn, Michael Monroe, and Riot After Midnight, as well as go back to a classic from Whitesnake. We're going to talk about new singles from Stonetrip, The Evils, Black Star Riders, and Lamb of God. Going to discuss the Taylor Hawkins tribute show lineups, as well as band mascots and a few other bits and pieces as well. Get involved in the comments, say hi, all the usual stuff as well. So make sure you get in there, say hi. I've got some people doing that already, which is always good. And a big thank you, of course, for our fantastic sponsors in Squidding, Scrimping, Alt Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Their details, as well as ours, are in the description box. So follow them, give them a like, follow, a share, and do the same thing for us. Make sure you hit the like button and all the usual things that everyone gets you to do. That way you can keep up to date with us, and it helps us spread the word and all that usual stuff that, every single podcast, video, whatever says to do, we're no different. We're going to do that as well. So just jump in, say hi, give us your thoughts as we go along, and let's have some fun with things. But before we get stuck into things, quickly here, Nicole is going, hello, evening all. Good to see you again, Nicole. Always lovely to have you here with us on YouTube. Same with Darren. Darren's here saying, hey all, good to see you again, buddy, as well. Hope you're keeping well. Jane Marie, good to see you. Thanks for joining us over on Facebook. Hope you're keeping well. Same with Terry. Terry's going, hi, guys. Good to see you again, buddy. Hope everything is well for you. And Brett as well. Good to see you too. G'day, everyone. So, yes, getting a few there. Make sure you get in there. Say hello. We'll try and read it out for you where we can. But before we get stuck into things, let's do the rounds as usual. Dave, how's your week going so far?
Yeah, it's been busy, tired, cold. Work's actually really quiet. Our industry just dies in winter, and with the cost of living and everything going up, it's absolutely fucking dead. But it's not just us; it's everybody else in the same boat of our industry. Yeah. Suppliers apparently are just cleaning the floor. It's that dead. So people are cutting luxury items and just buckling down. And I joined Costco simply because it's cheaper petrol. Yeah, $60 membership, and petrol is like 20 cents on average cheaper. Yeah, so it's one close by, so it was a logical thing to do. But just walking around, it's just holy shit. These are more bogan people than Aldi.
Yeah,
but you can see the beautiful big bottles of fucking Jamesons they got. So lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting place. And Jade went on school camp, so she left Monday morning at like 7 o'clock and came back yesterday 5 p.m. full of stories, wired on excitement, but pretty tired.
Nice.
But yeah, she had a great time. So had lots of good stories from her. And while she was gone, one of my pipes exploded underneath my house. So for those wondering, we got like a house, normal rectangle size. Pipe exploded here, trapdoor's there. So it's like the worst possible way. So I had to get a plumber out to fix it. And yeah, I had a look. Crawling under the house is not fun. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're in the tight confined space. But apart from that, life is good. How you guys going? How's Tim?
Hey, Tim.
Yeah, I'm just cruising along, to be honest. Working and sleeping, and trying to keep warm, and have Oregon shows booked up soon, so that'll be good.
Nice.
So life as usual, to be honest.
Yep. Cool.
Yourselves?
Not a lot else from me. It's just same old, just continuing the grind. Work for me is busier than shit, which is just fucking nuts. Like it's just insane how busy we are, which is a good thing. It's a good problem, especially at the moment with everything going on. I'm not complaining at all. So that's kept me busy, but everyone else is happy, healthy, and well. Kids are doing well in their respective jobs, and everything's going good. So fingers crossed, for everyone on our end, everything's so far so good this year. So I've got nothing to really complain about at all. I might have, there's always a bin. I'll make that some fun later on. But apart from that, it's just the same old. It's busy with everything because between work and all this stuff going on here, editing-wise and that, it's just, non-stop go, which is not a problem at all. I'm used to it, but it's just same old. Nothing really new, but everything is good and keeping well over here. Don't really feel the cold as much as a lot of people. So it's not bothering me as much as I know it bothers Dave in particular, who hates winter with a passion. So I'm doing well. I'm the guy that walks around the factory in a t-shirt in winter and everyone goes, you're fucking nuts. And that's just me.
It makes me shiver just thinking of it.
see, because I like wearing like jeans and heavy jackets and that. So like,
I hate clothes. That's what summer's so cool. You don't need them.
Rightio. I like my jacket. I wear the jacket for this because sitting down doing nothing, then you feel the cold. But when I'm working, within 5 minutes, if I've got a jumper on, I'm taking it down to a t-shirt. Anyone does, no point. But anyway, that's enough of that. I'm sure there's enough people out there fantasizing about Dave running around naked now. So there you go. There's one for everyone.
Hey, drive down my street in summer when I'm mowing the lawn.
Is that
is that with the ride-on lawnmower for that jiggle?
No, fuck that. The good old-fashioned walking it off.
Have you got the old push mower? Is that what you're using with the spinning wheel? Yep.
No,
okay.
no, not that old shit.
You got a proper lawnmower then.
Yeah, this conversation took a fucking left turn. All right, cool. Let's see who else is with us tonight. Lee's here. Good to see you again, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well too. He's going, hi, boys. Enjoy the new Santa Cruz single, Dave. Have you heard it?
No, I heard there was one coming and I heard like a 10-second clip and just like, yep, okay.
Wow. I haven't heard it yet. I'm assuming, Tim, you're in the same boat as me. I haven't heard that one yet?
Yeah, I haven't heard it either.
I'm sure when I hear it, I'll be left speechless.
Yeah, like a lot of the new stuff from Santa Cruz does seem to be interesting.
Yeah. We'll see how we go. I haven't heard it yet. I'm curious.
We'll see what happens.
Sorry, Dave?
I'll give it a listen and go back listening to their old stuff.
All right. Cool.
Usually what happens.
It's generally the way it works. Kim's here tonight as well, saying, hey, good to see you again as well. Thanks for joining us. Same with Basher over on Facebook, saying, good evening all. Good to see you again too, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well. Rowan, as is usual, is giving us the horns over on YouTube, which is brilliant. Thank you for doing so. Sally's here going, hey, guys. And then just at the same time, she put up when Dave was talking about, mowing the lawn naked, just gave us all the eyes there. So there we go. Thank you for joining us, Sally. Always love having you here with us as well. And Lee's gone, Dave, thought you might only prefer tight, confined spaces when being intimate with the missus. So there we go.
The tighter, the better.
This is a mature evening here on a live. We're doing well.
Hey, you got me on. It's never going to be mature.
No, I know that. We're never going to get there anyway. All righty, let's get into some stuff. Before we do, though, let's do the traditional sort of gig plug now. So I'm just going to copy a little link here. It's in the everything that we talk about. There's a reference link for it in the description box. I also share things in the comments. Just make sure you're following along in the comments, or just check out the description box if you missed something. But there's a little gig plug as always. Shit, here we go. I'll get to that comment in a second. But the gig plug is actually one that Tim foreshadowed before. It's Friday, July the 1st, so next week, isn't it, Tim?
Yeah.
You're heading off to rack 'em up in Lilydale again. This time you're playing with Outlaw, who I believe is their first live show, if I'm correct. But you're also playing with Torrential Thrill. And in case you haven't figured it out, we're talking about Eat the Damn Orange, which is one of Tim's bands. That's the lineup. So it's Doors 8 p.m., Eat the Damn Orange on at 9, Torrential Thrill at 10, and Outlaw at 11. So that's a cracking lineup at a pretty cool joint. You looking forward to it, Tim?
Yeah, look, Orange and Torrential Thrill go way back.
Yeah.
Looking forward to hooking up with those boys again. And Rack 'em Up is an interesting place to play because there's a pool hall. But, I mean, the people who run it are really lovely, bar staff, great fun, and everybody helps us out. So it should be a fun night.
Awesome. Cool. No, it'll be a cracking gig. So, yeah, the event is in the comments. It's in the description box as well. So make sure you get on down there. Just from the description there, it's time to blow off cobwebs and get this show back on the road. Friday night, July the 1st. It's all going down at Rack 'em Up in Lilydale. Bring your party shoes. Let's get the night done right. And then you've got, Eat the Damn Orange, Torrential Thrill, and Outlaw. And, yeah, it's been a reminder here. Thank you, Lee. Lee's gone, Outlaw is Reborn Scarlet. So that's what
awesome.
That is. Forgotten about that one. Yeah, I did notice that one along the way, but yes, nice pick up there. Thank you for that one, Lee. Alrighty, back to the comments for a second with the tight spaces. Vinny's gone flanger and minge. Let's go. So there we go, Dave. That's one for you. Cheers, Vinny. But Danny, a friend of ours, is going, Danny, hey lads, miss you all. Hope you've been well. Fuck the new Santa Cruz single. So there we go. Oh, thanks for jumping in there, mate. Good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well too. All All
I
right.
really hope the album's okay.
Oh, I think everyone is, but yeah, we'll see.
I just hope it plays back good live.
Yeah.
God, we'll see what happens. I'm not holding my breath for any of that sort of stuff, to be honest. I think we've if Dave's given up on the band, which I think you are virtually there, aren't you? Surely, that's saying something, knowing how big of a fan you are of it. So, we'll see. What do we got? All right, cool. Bash is gone because he got to see the behind the scenes stuff, the exclusive Patreon stuff there. I really enjoyed the making of Saturday's episode earlier this week. Laughed out loud most of the time. It was crazy. Yes, we have a lot of fun with them behind the scenes. So thank you for checking that out. David's joined us. G'day, all rock on. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. What do we got? Darren says, I'm pretty sure Archie was miming in the new Santa Cruz video. Well, that's
guarantee.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Yeah. And yeah, Danny is saying, all good here. Good to see us. Yes, likewise. Alrighty. Now I'm going to throw you guys a curveball. I've not even discussed this with you at all, but as we're doing this on a Thursday night, tomorrow is the traditional release day of the week. So I figured I'd have a quick run through of the releases we're expecting to come out tomorrow and just see what you guys are keen to check out. In the comments, let us know what you're keen to check out as well, but I'm just going to quickly try and rattle this off as fast as I can while still making sense. We all know how fast I can talk, but I'll try and make it so it's at least somewhat understandable. Alrighty, now in alphabetical order, you got Ailstorm with their new album, Seventh Rum of a Seventh Rum. Dave is keen for that, as is Lee. So good. There we go. Lee's keen for that one as well. He jumped straight in on Ailstorm, so there we go. You got Alexis on Fire, Otherness, Belphegor, The Devils, Blackstone, Cherry. What was that, Tim? Belphegor?
Oh, Belphegor and Alexis on Fire, because, I mean, they actually... Yeah, Young Cardinals was supposed to be their last album when it came out.
Okay, cool.
So that's a long time between drinks.
Nice. Got a live one here from Blackstone Cherry, which is live from the Royal Albert Hall. Candy with Heaven Is Here. Classless Act, welcome to the show. Coheed and Cambria, Vaxxus 2, A Window of the Waking Mind. They're always an interesting band. Then you got Dark Ain, Inhuman Spirits. Emery, Rub Some Dirt on It. Fallen Sanctuary, Terra Nova. Final Light, self-titled, obviously. Flickertail, that band that broke up a while ago and have been having that posthumous EP coming. It's finally coming out tomorrow. So Flickertail Afterlife is the EP that's out tomorrow. Guillotine AD, Born to Fall. The Helicopters, Through the Eyes of the Helicopters EP. What else we got? Cold with Svartsen. Limbs with Coma Year. Mirror Queen, Inviolate. Paganizer, Beyond the Macabre. Then you got Philosophophobia with the self-titled release. Here's one I know Dave in particular is keen on. Porcupine Tree with Closure, Continuation. That's one that's coming as well. Cool. Then we got Projected with Hypoxia. Raptors, Living Without Death's Permission. Sayo with Origins. Suicide Silence, The Cleansing. It's a re-release, that one though. Then we've got another re-release with Tigers of Pantang, The Wreckage or Burning in the Shade. Then you got Victorious, Dinosaur Warfare Part 2, The Great Ninja War. So that'll be interesting. Volcandra, Border World, EP, and Werewolves from the Cove to the Grave. So there's a few going on there. What do we got in here in the comments? Darren is saying Classless Act, welcome to the show. Yes, we have played a few of their songs or checked out a few of their songs now. They're a cool little band. So, yeah, looking forward to that myself as well. Brett has said, please, when someone goes to Nikki's house, grab the Noiseworks album and frisbee it. So nicely put, Brett. I don't know how that'll go for us, but if we do that, I guarantee we're going to get footage of it. That's going to have to happen. But is there anything on that list or what particularly jumps out to you guys there?
Yeah, definitely Porcupine Tree and Ailstorm. But was there a band called Guillotine and their album's called Born to Fall?
Yes.
That's fucking brilliant. I have no idea
Agreed.
what they're like, but that title itself is brilliant.
There we go. Anything for you, Tim? The ones
yeah, as Dave said, Porcupine Tree and Ailstorm. Yep. And obviously, like, as I jumped in before, Alexis on Fire and Belphegor and Coheed and Cambria, like you said, are interesting. Yeah. And like we've done Tigers of Pantang albums before, and they were quite interesting as well. So doing the re-release of that is interesting again as well. Is it a remaster or?
I'm not sure. It's just a little list of one, but yeah, it's a re-release. It could be a remaster. It could be a special edition. I'm not sure of the particulars around it. But yeah, just know there's a re-release due tomorrow.
Yeah, the cleansing is an interesting one as well to re-release because that was huge back in the day. Back amongst the people who hung around the train station in Frankston.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
if it's a remaster, that'll be interesting. If it's just a re-release, then yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Again, sorry, mate.
But I mean, trying to pick out 3 albums from that list for next week's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, we don't do a lot of live albums per se unless there's a special sort of reason for it. But the one from Blackstone Cherry, I mean, they are fantastic live. So you just know that they're going to put out a good record if it's going to be that environment. So that's not.
And their last few albums have been really good too.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, plenty to enjoy in that one. But yeah, a game like you guys, Ailstorm and Porcupine Trip are the ones I'm most keen for overall. But yeah, there's a few there. Like Classless Act is definitely one that I would love to check out. There's a few in that one. So good little list coming out tomorrow. So yeah, let us know. Darren has jumped in to say Porcupine Tree and Tigers. So there we go. There's one for Tigers and Pandang as well. And Rowan's going, Philosophophobia looked interesting on paper, but reviews around the place aren't super positive. Porky Tree for sure, though. So there we go. Again, a lot of love for Porcupine Tree in this one tonight. We'll see how things are going as the next 24 hours unfold, and I'll set up the playlist and update it tomorrow. All right.
Well, if you're on Australian time, they'll be out in 3 hours.
Well, that's it. Yeah. So it's good for us. And that's what there are some perks being on this side of the world. Only New Zealand is kind of ahead of us, so you get the music kind of early, which is nice. All righty. Let's get into some singles and quickly discuss these ones. Now, Tim, do you want me to put you in timeout for a minute and then we'll come back and get you for the Lamb of God?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, cool. I will put you into timeout and I'll get you back in a few minutes. Cool. Alrighty, Dave, you and I are going to get stuck into the singles here. So first one tonight is the very brand new one, which I'm pretty sure is why Kim is here. This is the latest from Stonetrip with their new single, Leave a Light On. It's in the description box. It's also in the comments now, so go and check it out. The band is Stonetrip. The song is Leave a Light On. Fair to say, this is their first new single since their self-titled EP in 2021, which we all enjoyed. Dave, for me, this picked up right where it left off. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. This is cool. It's bright, upbeat, fun rock song, and bit of funk, bit of groove. And you don't hear music with this vibe very often anymore. It's really refreshing. Just, there's no misery, no politics, just fun, upbeat, bright. On a shitty winter's day, this brings summer, and I love it.
Yeah.
There's a really cool little soft mid section. I thought that was really well done with some really nice guitar phrases throughout that section.
Yeah.
And vocals are well done. Lyrics are interesting. Good song, good band. Want to hear more. More.
Yeah. No, these guys are fantastic. Everything they do is bloody brilliant. And the interview that we did with them last year, from memory, was fucking fun too. They're a good bunch of guys. But this song, it's actually kind of funny because, you consider the vintage of the band and that sort of stuff. But this is what you'd expect if you were to get like Electric Mary and Horsehead, stick it in a blender. That's kind of what this song is for me. It just feels like those two bands sort of distilled down into this track. I fucking love it. So everything's got a great hook, great vibe, like you were talking about. It's just a really good feel-good song, but the hook and the chorus is just brilliant. There's a video for it as well, which is cool. Obviously, it's just riding around a bike, and it just fits that vibe where it's nice and sunny and that kind of thing going on too. It's a really good, positive, fun, just good old-fashioned rock and roll song or hard rock song. It's really, really nicely done. I'm really impressed with it. And if they keep releasing songs like this, my fucking God. Could go anywhere, these guys. This one is another cracking track. If you haven't checked out the self-titled EP from last year, please do. It's fucking brilliant as well. Really did enjoy that one too. But yeah, another great song from a great band. Stonetrip are doing all sorts of awesome things. So yeah, let's hope the train keeps on keeping on because very, very impressed with that one. Alrighty, what do we got here? Comments. All right, quickly. Lee's gone. Timmy's in the naughty corner. Naughty boy corner again. Yes, we have a few of those things coming in and out. He's sitting there watching us and chuckling away in the background. I can see him, but he's not in the stream. He's giving me the thumbs up there. Brett has gone, has anyone heard Ozzy's new song yet? I haven't checked it out. Have you, Dave?
There's a new Ozzy song?
Yeah, there's some new stuff coming on at the moment.
Okay. I'm excited.
have to go and check it out. I haven't, given it a spin yet. I haven't had a chance, unfortunately. Alrighty, let's go on to one we have heard, and let's talk about the latest, or the debut, I should say, from the Evils. So this is in the comments in the description box. Again, it's as always with all these things, but the band is called the Evils. The song is Little Black Reputation. And this is the debut single from this band, and we know about them mostly because Dean, who fronts them, is the main man at Rock Guitar Lessons as well, one of our sponsors in years gone by. So got a lot of love for Dean in general, so hopefully you keep him well, buddy. But yeah, Dave, what did you make of the song?
Oh, this is cool. The band name's fucking great too. But this actually follows up from Stonetrip really well. I don't know if that was intentional, but damn, these two songs flow together really well.
Just to jump in there, I think it's a good segue into Black Star Riders as well.
Yeah, it's a really good flow with those three.
Yeah.
And then the onslaught of Lamb of God, but we'll get to that. Funny, last week was all about all the metal, and this week is all about the upbeat rock songs.
Yeah.
And much like the previous song, good vibes, good for shitty weather, brings the summer. Yeah. Exactly what you want to hear. My first time hearing this band, and this song rocks. Good band, good song. Solo is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I only got one song on Spotify, but I want to hear more from this band. But this is what they're starting off with. They're got a good future, so I want to hear more. But yeah, I really enjoyed this song.
Yeah, it's nothing complicated. It's a straightforward, hard rock bar song, but fuck, it's done well, and it's I like the lyrics. I thought the bit of storytelling in that, again, another great hook, but the riff and the lyrics and the melody along with it, it's like you said, the solo is great, but the song itself, the composition, there's nothing really super complex. It's pretty straightforward. It's one of those ones where if you went and saw it live, you'd have a great time. And you can imagine half the bar dancing, the other half standing at the bar, just sitting and drink going, yep, this is fucking cool kind of thing. It's one of those songs for all comers. And if you like us or what we talk about in general, it's, I think, a song, along with Stonetrip, it's one you have to check out. I reckon this is another band. This is the first one. It's been a while in the works too. I know that Dean and Co have been working on this for quite some time, so I'm glad it's finally out. But my fingers are crossed very much so for a nice little EP from these guys sooner rather than later, because again, if this is how they're starting off, then yeah, I'm keen to hear much, much more as well. If you just like good, solid, hard rock songs, we've got you covered tonight. That's another one. That's 2 for 2. I really did enjoy that one as well. So well done to Dean and all the crew involved in that one. I really like what they started off with in that one. There's a debut single. All right, going back to Stonetrip for a second. Darren says classic hard rock like this, which is cool. Lee also says bloody ripping tune. Recent show at the Tote was impressive. They are fantastic in all fronts, Stonetrip. And Darren is also saying digging this too. So there we go. More love for Little Black Reputation there from the Evils. So it's all going well so far. But from there, we're going to go to a band that probably don't need much of an introduction, but just in case you don't know, this is a band born out of the remnants of the mighty Thin Lizzy. So that should give you a taste of what you're in for here. So in the comments, in the description box, we have the latest from Black Star Riders with their new single, Better Than Saturday Night. So yeah, that's where we are at now. So Black Star Riders is the band. The song is Better Than Saturday Night. This is a single from the upcoming album, Wrong Side of Paradise, which is due in January 2023. So we're getting well and truly early promo on this one. But this is the band's overall 5th album since they renamed themselves, and it's their first since guitarist Scott Gorham departed the band as well. Their last album was in 2019 from memory. But Dave, I know how big of a fan you are of these guys. Did it live up to what you wanted?
Yep. This band always delivers. They've never disappointed me. 4 albums down and 5th one coming, and yeah, first song on the upcoming album. Yeah. As soon as you put it on, unmistakably Black Star Riders.
Yeah.
I used to get, on their first album, we got vibes of Thin Lizzy. I think that's gone. Now I just hear Black Star Riders, which I think is a good thing. Yep. It is a shame that Scott Gorham decided to leave, but that's his choice. But the band hasn't lost anything, at least not in this track. No. They might experiment a bit on the album when it comes, but that's all cool. Well, cool. I really like the clap-along feel to the chorus.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be really cool live. Really good songwriting there. Ricky Warwick still sounds great. If you heard any of his stuff from the Almighty back in the early 90s, he's always had such a great, strong rock voice suited to this type of music. And he's pretty underrated. You don't ever see him in the top 10 of great singers or frontmen, but what he does really well. And I think, if they had continued as Thin Lizzy, he probably would have been the only person that could do it justice.
Yeah, I agree.
He does the Thin Lizzy songs really well. I saw him live when they opened for Kiss and Motley Crue all those years ago. Yeah. No, great song. I'm looking forward to hearing the album of this. This is cool.
These guys just, keep on kicking goals. I mean, since they rebranded and changed it all up from Thin Lizzy to Black Star Riders, they haven't missed a beat. Yeah, like you were saying, they started off as being much closer to Thin Lizzy than where they are today. They've definitely got their own sound. And what I love about it is that their sound is really distinctive. Like as soon as the riff comes on, you hear it. It's the next evolution from what you want from a Thin Lizzy kind of a beginning. It just fits perfectly. I didn't even really pick up on this is the first sort of new music we're hearing since Scott Gorham departed. And it's like you said, they haven't missed a trick at all. Like this just feels like they've picked up exactly where they left off and just kept growing along as bands do. If you like Thin Lizzy or you just like classic hard rock, then this is one that you're going to enjoy. I think it's got another one with a great hook. The chorus is fantastic. And if this is just the first single from this coming album, then I think that, yeah, like you were saying, Ricky Warwick's about as close as you're going to get to Phil Lynott these days. But at the same time, he does things his own way. But what I admire about him is his storytelling and his songs, much like with Phil. It's the same sort of vibe there. So I think that was a really cool aspect of this song too. I think it's just, yeah, everything about these guys is just, they just keep rolling on and just keep going. Ricky is one hell of a chameleon too. Like you talk about the other stuff he's done, but he also did a track on the first Trucker Diablo album as well, and he fit right in on that too. So he's capable of a whole lot more than you might expect. So don't sleep on it. This is a really good band doing really good things. Another great single from these guys. So please do check out Black Star Riders Better Than Saturday Night, and let us know what you think out there as well. Alrighty, what do we got? Darren says, when you miss Thin Lizzy, they bring it back. Love the vocals. Black Star Riders rock. So there you go. That's pretty much exactly what it is in a nutshell. Well put, Darren. That's pretty much exactly what it is. Alrighty, now we're going to get away from the normal sort of classic rock. We went to heavy stuff last week. Now we're going to bring Tim back in so we can talk about the latest from the mighty Lamb of God. Before we do, quickly here, Leah's gone. Speaking of Motley, need to offer poor souls who paid for the current tour a refund. Tommy's bullshit rib story and Vince still in suboptimal physical conditioning, beating a dead horse. So not getting a lot of positive feedback on that tour at the moment. I haven't seen a single positive.
They're doing really well. I checked out their videos.
I will say this. I think Tommy Clufetos is a better drummer than Tommy Lee.
Most likely, yeah. Yep. I wouldn't disagree with that, to be honest. I mean, Tommy's got his thing, but yeah.
Well, Tommy's an entertainer. Tommy Clufetos is a drummer.
That's very true, actually. Very good way to put it. All right. Well, while you're here, let's get into it. This is the latest from the mighty Lamb of God, which I know Tim is very keen to check this out, or he already has, obviously, but he's very keen to sort of talk about it. This is their new single, Nevermore. It's from the album Omens, which is due October 7, 2022. So a little bit of a way, but not too far away at the same time. We'll be here before we know it, the way things are going this year. So Lamb of God, Nevermore. It's in the comments, in the description box. Go and check it out. And Tim, will throw to you first.
Okay, so me and this band go a long way back.
Yes.
And first thing that I found interesting was when they released the artwork. The artwork was very much that of an older style.
Yeah.
Lamb of God album, very reminiscent of Ashes of the Wake and As the Palace Burns and all that.
Yeah.
And riff wise, that's certainly what you get. You get very much that kind of laid to rest kind of vibe to it. It's very open palm mutes with some diddly dazzle on the top and some implied time signature shifts. But you've also got some fancy new stuff like Randy singing clean.
What did you think of that?
Which is which you started to see a little bit in the last few albums, but you're getting like whole verses of it. And his voice doesn't sound half bad. He was always an interesting guy because he used to pitch his screams quite well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like these guys never put out a bad album, so I've got no doubts about that. So more. I look forward to more singles coming in anticipation of a new album.
Nice. All right. So, Dave, you struggled with the aggressive vocals last week. How'd you go with this one?
Lamb of God I like. They do it really well. Harsh vocals, but it sounds like words. I can make out what he's saying, so that's cool. But yeah, I like the album they brought out in 2020, I think it was, the self-titled album. Yeah. That was probably the first Lamb of God album I've heard all the way through. I've heard songs here and there before.
Was great before that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great fucking album last time. So yeah, this song's really cool. It kind of picks up where they left off. And if you know Lamb of God, you know what you're going to get: heavy guitars, heavy drumming, harsh vocals. Cool lyrics though. I was reading some of the lyrics on Spotify, and it's called Nevermore, so they reference a raven a few times. But you hear the raven scream, hanging by a thread, so go and choke on it. I thought that shit's fucking cool. And as I said, you can actually understand what he's saying, but reading the lyrics just get a little bit more coherent. But yeah, this is cool. I'm interested to hear the new album.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm much like Tim. These guys haven't released a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. If you want to listen to heavy music, give these guys a go because they're fucking good at what they do. Randy just seems to get better with age as far as I'm concerned. Every album he delivers, he gets stronger and stronger. I just think that the experience of things it's one of those things where the veterans get better. Eh?
Whole band does.
Yeah, the whole band does. That's true. But with Randy up front, it's just that whole that's your easy focus point kind of thing. But the way they wrote this song, the groove and like you said, the implied tempo shifts and all that sort of stuff, that was really cool. It just built the sort of tension and release aspect of this song nicely. And you got the little things like hanging by a thread sort of back a bit in the mix, and then it sort of comes in and kicks you in the head a bit. But yeah, at the flip side, you got the clean vocals, almost like that full verse of clean singing. And his tone, I thought, really suited it well. So what they're evolving into is really, really cool. But they've also got, like Tim mentioned, enough of the early stuff that that will appeal to longtime fans of this band. I think that if you're a new fan or an old fan, this song will probably make you happy either way, I reckon. So it's if you like it heavier and aggressive, this is a band you got to check out. But this song, it's a good start. The new album should be a cracker if the songs are going to be anything like this one. So yes, another great track there that we've all enjoyed all around, which is all three of us liked it. So there you go. That's saying something. That really is saying something, especially considering what we talked about last week. Alrighty, what do we got here? So back onto Motley Crue for a second. Vinny said Vince is sounding better than he has been from the footage being released. So there we go. Getting some positive feedback there as well. Nice. Alrighty. Basher said, love their last album, Another State of Grace. I believe this is back to Black Star Riders. This new song rocks. Looking forward to the new album. Love you, T-shirt, Dave. So there we go. There's some more positive feedback for Black Star Riders. And on to the Evils here. Leah's gone, FYI, the Evils are supporting Black Aces at Cherry Bar tomorrow night or at the B East on 8th of July. So there you go. A couple of good little gigs. Get down there and support some local music if you've got the time.
Black Aces are fucking awesome too.
The Black Aces are great. They are an awesome band, and they are awesome live. A lot of fun. So that'd be an actual cracking gig tomorrow night, actually. Cherry Bar, Black Aces, and the Evils. I reckon that'd be a lot of fun, actually. That's cool. On to Lamb of God. Darren says, Lamb of God always deliver, make you want to run through walls and insane live. That is true. Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. And Gear says, hello from Norway. You guys rock. Thank you for the kind words there. He's going, we play with Maiden today. Yes, Maiden released a new song. Oh, no, not Maiden. Queensryche released a new song, which made me think of Iron Maiden. That's what in our chat before. That's why I'm thinking of things like that. Don't worry about that. But yes, well done. Congratulations on playing with Maiden today then. Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, I can't say any more than that. Well done.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great. Enjoy it. All righty. Now we're going to move on to this week's hot topic, and that is the Taylor Hawkins tribute shows. The lineups have been confirmed, and it's two shows, one in Los Angeles, the other one in London. There's a few different bits and pieces going on with that. I don't know. Have you guys had a chance to check out the lineups or?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes and no. All righty. So, Dave, for your and for everyone else's benefit, featured on both shows in both countries, you got Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, the remaining members of Rush, Brian May and Roger Taylor of Queen, Stuart Copeland of The Police, Mark Ronson, Josh Homme of Queens of the Stone Age, Omar Hakim on drums, Wolfgang Van Halen's going to make an appearance, as well as Chevy Metal, which is Taylor Hawkins' little band, a side project, a little cover band thing. Gene Simmons, Nikki Sixx, Chad Smith, Brad Wilk, Joan Jett, Alanis Morissette, Miley Cyrus. They're in LA. The ones that are only appearing in London include Chrissy Hind of the Pretenders and Liam Gallagher of Oasis, as well as comedian Dave Chappelle. So there's a bit of a bit going on there. A lot of fun to be had. They're all appearing with the remaining Foo Fighters members: Dave Grohl, Nate Mendel, Chris Shiflett, Pat Smear, and Rami Jaffe. The concerts are held September 3rd at Wembley in London and September 27th at the Kia Forum in LA. Both shows benefit charities chosen by the drummer's family. Foo Fighters have made that a confirmation there. So there we go. Tim, you've had a chance to check it out. So, what got your attention on that, or what do you think?
Dave Chappelle, obviously. Well, one of the wildest things I've ever seen was when gigs first started coming back. Was Dave Chappelle? Remember, there was a clip of Dave Chappelle playing with the Foo Fighters at Madison Square Garden. Singing "Creep" by Radiohead. And it's the most bizarre thing you'll ever see because it's Dave Chappelle singing for the Foo Fighters. Yeah, a Radiohead song, and like the camera pans to the side, and there's freaking like Chris Rock and a John McEnroe just sitting there. It's like it's the wildest thing ever. Yeah. But obviously, look, they've just picked. I'm sure they've picked. Particularly once you go to guys like Pat Smear and all these guys who've been around the music world for a very, very long time. And I'm sure they've just picked guys that they were friends with and guys that the band were close to over the years and who wanted to get together and play a show. And, so good on them for that. I'm sure they're going to be great shows. I'm sure they're going to be very emotionally charged nights. And we'll see what happens with the band afterwards.
Yeah, that's a good point. You got a thought? What do you think they'll do after these shows?
It's impossible to say.
Yeah.
Like I could very easily see like a Chad Smith or a Matt Cameron jumping in and taking that spot. Yeah. But at the same time, I could also very easily just say, no, look, it's time to move on and do something different. So, yeah. Yeah,
it's a tough one. It is a tough one. All right, Dave, you've had a minute to think. What about those lineups sort of got your attention?
Yeah, both good lineups. I was trying to figure who they would have because we knew these shows were coming. And you knew that, like the Freddie Mercury tribute, it's not just people in the rock world, it'd be people outside of it too. So Alanis Morissette and Miley Cyrus are probably the best ones I can think of to fit that because they don't pay attention to that world, but they kind of fit. But yeah, getting the guys from Queen, that's definitely cool. That's pretty big. But and as Tim said, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's fucking awesome. Whatever you do with him. But I remember when Taylor Hawkins died, just about every band or every celebrity posted a photo of them hanging out with him. So they could have gone so many different ways. But I think it's a solid and consistent lineup for what they want to do. So hopefully it's streamed or released on DVD or people can see it in somewhere because that'd be cool. Just seeing what songs they would pick if they do like the bands do their own songs to start with and then they'll do Foo Fighters songs later on like they did with the Freddie Mercury tribute or however they organise it. It'd be interesting to see.
It'd be really cool if they streamed it and did like a telethon kind of thing where they said, the proceeds for this gigs are going to this charity. So if you want to donate, then, ring this number or hit this QR code or whatever the fuck they're doing these days. You know what I mean? So I reckon that would be I hope they do that. I hope this is recorded and I'm pretty sure it will be. I mean, you don't get to line up with this and not record the fucking thing, but I hope they do something with it in that context so that everyone around the world gets a chance to sit down and watch this. I honestly think that on those days and the time frames, if people need to take a day off work, I think there'll be a lot of sickies taken on that particular day from those in the rock and metal world. I think there's a lot of people that want to sit down and watch it, I think, if at all possible. But I like how they've assembled these lineups in such a way that it's almost like a nod to all the things that he loved in music and also the bands that he sort of really adored. Like he was one of the ones with Dave Grohl that inducted Rush into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it's cool they've got the survived members of that band there to play along with them. Same with Queen. He loved Queen. There's that video kicking around of him performing "Someone to Love" at his final show, and it's good that got those ones there. Alanis Morissette, he played with her years and years ago, so it's good to get that sort of thing in there as well. But then, having Nikki Sixx,
little pill tour.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got Nikki Sixx, Gene Simmons. So you got some rock royalty coming.
Well, you've got what I found interesting is you've got like people in the music world from the early 70s all the way through to the last decade.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is something for everybody on here.
Yeah, and that's why the addition of Miley Cyrus is cool too. But also, I enjoyed seeing Wolfgang Van Halen get a call for this one as well. I reckon that's a great touch in that regard. And I wouldn't be surprised if on the day itself we might get a few extra little guest appearances that aren't, quote unquote on the lineup. So for example, they have performed with members of certain bands in the past. Jimmy Page comes to mind, for example. I wouldn't be surprised if at the London show he might just sort of come up and do one song and then bugger off again, kind of thing. So I suspect there might be that going on, but I think that all in all, it's a great lineup. And if these things get your attention, then check them out. September 3, September 27, and if you feel inclined, donate to the charities and give them all some love and support all around. I think this will be a big celebration, but like Tim said, it'll also be very emotionally charged. So it will be interesting to see how it plays out, because they wouldn't have played publicly since it's all happened. These were the first time back on stage for these guys. So it will be interesting to see how it goes. But yeah, best wishes all around. Hope they all fucking kick goals, but I reckon they'll be absolutely fantastic. But we'll see how we go. All right, we've got some comments coming through here. All right, back onto different things a bit. Darren says, new single or video from Melbourne's True Believer. All right, cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. I'll go and check that out in the comments later on. I can't do it much on the screen here, but we'll do it. Gear also says, we'll be coming to Australia and New Zealand next year, so we'll see you there. Awesome, mate. Keep us in the loop. We look forward to seeing you when you get down here. Benjamin, our good friend Benjamin Payne. What's up from Wanganui in New Zealand, guys? Good to see you again, buddy. Been a little while. Hopefully you're keeping well. Ignacio is saying, legends, good to see you. Thanks for jumping in on Facebook and saying hi. Always love seeing people.
How you doing, bro?
There we go.
Love the new single too, by the way. Crossroads, nice. Sun Traders.
Cool. Yes, very cool. Yeah. That is. We did discuss that one the other week.
A couple weeks back, yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Darren on the Hawkins stuff here for a second says Alex Larson, Getty Lee would be awesome to see. So there we go. That's what he's got there as well. So give us your thoughts on those lineups. Who you would sit down and watch if you got a chance to go and see it, and who you think maybe should have been added to the lineup if you can think of anyone. But I think that's a pretty comprehensive list there. Good luck adding more to it. But yeah, all righty. Let's move on and play a game. Let's do a little bit of overrated, underrated, and let's see how this one goes. We've sort of touched on band mascots before, but not in this sort of context. So the idea here is, we give our sort of thoughts. Are they overrated or are they underrated? Whatever you want to say about it, or about right, take your pick. But we're talking about band mascots. They used to be huge, and now they sort of dissipated, and they sort of come and go a bit here and there. But are they underrated or overrated? Let's go to you first, Dave.
I fucking love band mascots. I think they're fantastic. But getting into music in the 80s, man, every cool band had album covers with the same mascot, or you had awesome T-shirts or posters or on the cover of magazines, anything. And if you didn't know the band, what the mascot, what band it was for, you would go and find out. So it was a great way to draw people in. And you had some very cool ones, obviously Vic Rattlehead and Saggletooth and Eddie, Knotman, but we also had some shit ones like the baby seal from Riot.
Yes.
There was nothing metal about seal. Baby Lava ones. That was bad.
That's true. Yeah.
So if it's cool, if it's demonic, if it's evil, even Knotman with his goofy fucking smile.
Yeah.
It's obvious. But it's all cool. You kind of associate it with it. If Maiden released an album that didn't have Eddie on the cover, they're like, what the fuck? But mascots are cool. Band imagery is cool. Logos, everything, the whole works. If for nothing else, it just makes cool artwork on T-shirts.
Yeah. So you're going with underrated then, I assume?
Underrated. I think there should be more. I think bands are overlooking it these days. Underlooking it, or over whatever. Yeah, bands aren't doing it, and they should be.
You got there in the end.
I got there.
Yeah. How about you, Tim? What do you think?
It's underrated when it's done well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key, is to have like you said, there was some shit mascots.
Yeah. Yep.
If you've got a good one, you can think of a good one, for pardon the pun, but run to the hills with it,
Exactly. Yeah.
Because, man, who doesn't love Eddie?
Exactly. And the different iterations too over the years.
Yeah. So, underrated. Provided that it's good. If it's shit, then it can be very limiting and quietly whisked away.
Yeah. We have seen that in the past as well. Like Dio had Murray. It was there for a while, and then it sort of disappeared after a few albums.
It was cool.
Yeah, I liked Monroe as well. I don't know why they ditched it, but there was a few things going on at the time in that band. So, but yeah, was there anything else you wanted to add there, Tim, or is that?
I'm all good, man. Yeah.
I think they're actually highly underrated. Like, I really think they're being overlooked in a big way from bands today. I think that in the context of music and streaming and how much disruption there's been, the one thing that has been consistent and been viable for bands is all your kind of merch options. And I think having a good mascot, it's got to be a good one that's versatile, can be sort of played in different sort of things. You don't want to make it too rigid, but if you've got one that fits your band and can have a bit of flexibility to it, then I think that it's really an overlooked tool that, one, makes some money for a band if the merch is done right too, but also thinking in terms of how things are moving in technology and all that kind of stuff too. It's one of those, hard and fast things that's good for getting attention on all different social media posts. If you get an animated GIF, you can stick it on whatever, it can be a little mini video. You can start using it in TikTok for all I care. Like, there's all that sort of stuff that'd be interesting, actually. An animated mascot, that would be where things could wind up going in the future. If that's an untapped thing. It just popped in my head right then. Didn't even think of that in the lead up to this one. Animated mascots, that'd be interesting. But yeah, I think it's really being overlooked at the moment. I think that, like I was saying before, the biggest thing for me is that with the revenue being mostly streaming based and live show based, it's just a good tool to have to make your merch more diverse. And also, who knows where things like this can go too with the growing advent of NFTs and all that kind of stuff as well. Not that I know anything about it really per se, but just there is that whole other side to it as well, that technology keeps moving and evolving, and it's better to have the more strings you can add to your brand, the better off you are overall, kind of thing. So in this context, if it's done right, again, it's going to be done tastefully, but if you can do it well and your audience respond to it, well, then it can be great. I don't know why more bands aren't sort of putting their head to it, because I think that it's one of those things where it's harder to change a logo, like your band's logo or the way that the band name is written, kind of thing, but you can do a bit more flexibility wise with your mascot and have some fun with it. So I think that's one of those things that you can change it up a bit. But yeah, there we go. All of us think it's underrated. If it's done right, it's going to be done right. But yeah, that's cool to see that we think there's plenty of space for it still in the music world. I'd like to see more of it out there. Would be great. What do we got? All right, Nicole says, long live Eddie. So we all love Eddie. That's, again, who doesn't love Eddie? But Rowan says, I can only think of Eddie. There's a few out there, man. Have a look.
Vic Rattlehead?
Sorry?
Vic Rattlehead?
Yeah, Vic Rattlehead. That's what Fred's modelled on. Fred was modelled on Vic Rattlehead.
But you know what else is underrated? Even just like a band logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I would always think of as basic as it is, right? Like the Pixies, there's that P with the wings on it.
Yep.
Like something simple like that.
Yep.
Like bands just don't do it. It's always a font with a full writing.
Yeah.
Having a logo, that's because what happens is you can create sort of any merch you like, just stick your logo on it, becomes like your brand symbol.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as stupid as it is, that fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers star thing.
Yeah. Yep.
That's been on their albums since the mid-80s.
Yeah. And it works.
AC with the points down the bottom.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. The lightning bolt in between, all that.
The lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yep. Doesn't need to be much. Simpler is
those things are massively underrated.
Yeah. No, that's a good point there too. I like that you brought that up as well. That's nice. Here we go. Yeah, we haven't discussed this one yet. Oh, we did actually last week. Sorry. The Good Things Festival. Rowan's got an interesting list of bands playing in Melbourne in December, including Ginger at Good Things Festival. Yes, we did have a quick chat about that last week. It's an impressive and diverse lineup, so go and check it out. But tickets are steep. It's a couple $100 if you can. But I also heard there was a lot of problems with people trying to get tickets as well. So that was a bit of a clusterfuck apparently.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened there, but
yeah, what I'd heard happened was people getting double charged.
Yeah, I've seen a few comments like that.
But I think everything's been refunded and all that.
Okay.
Still a major pain in the ass that have happened.
Yeah, it's a big event, and you wouldn't want to fuck that up anymore. Like, we've had enough of those things go wrong in this country as it is. We don't need any more having issues with them. What do we got here? Vinny says underrated. They still bring a tangible identity, kind of like bikies wearing their patches. Still instantly recognize who they represent. So there's some good points there as well. Brand awareness is always. I think that's in the day and age of Instagram and TikTok. Anything that can bring you brand awareness is going to be good for you overall. Here we go. Rowan says, I think I prefer a good, memorable logo over a mascot. So there we go. There's another thought on that one too. Vinny also says, Disturbed have the vengeful one that they brought to life in limited comic books. That's another cool one there as well. And Rowan also says, regardless whether a band has a good logo or mascot, they should sell plushies of it at their live shows. Tell me you would want a plush Eddie sitting
Damn right.
couch. That would be cool.
My kids would too. That'd be cool.
Hey?
My kids would like some plush Eddies.
Yeah, that'd work. Well, we're getting some ones that are being brought up here too. So you got Nicole says Avenged Sevenfold. They have a good logo as well.
They do.
Yep. Sally's brought up the Slipknot 9-point star, which is another cool one as well. It gets used out there too. Different context here. Darren says logo should be consistent and not changed. There's a good one there as well. What do we got? So Lee says Jimmy McFucknugget, Captain Morgan from Ailstorm. So there we go.
What a great name.
That is so good. That's true, though. Yes, definitely. But Sally says pink is a brand, I suppose. So she's cool. So that's with the exclamation point for the eye. So that's actually, when you think about it, there we go. And here's one for you, Dave. Vinny says Amber Heard has a new logo with the shit emoji. So there we go. But back into us a bit more. Lee says one of the best band logos is Misfits Fiend. So there we go.
Oh my God, yes.
That was a good one too. Yes. And here we go. TC. Good to see you, buddy. He's going, hi guys. Queensryche have a good logo as well, and that's definitely true too. Yeah. Definitely. So yeah, logos, all that sort of stuff. Still think it's very, very important. So anything that can sort of make you stand out, do it if you're in a band. I reckon it's a good thing to get a hold of. Alrighty. There we go. Let's do some reviews and let's see how these go tonight. First one up is the latest from Aussie band Riot After Midnight. I'm going to put it into the comments here, into the description box as well. There's the newest video from this one is a song called Strange Love, which actually features Carly Jewell as well, which is a great little new single there. But anyway, the band is Right After Midnight. The song is Strange Love. That's your reference track. It's in the comments in the description box now as well. So go and check that out and give us your thoughts as we go through and give our review on this one. So this is Right After Midnight with their new album, Hell's a Rockin'. 11 tracks, 42 minutes. The second studio album from the Melbourne band, released June 2022 by Electric Circus Records. Produced, mixed, and mastered by Electric Circus Studios. 3 singles have so far been released, including Yours All Night and the title track. This album features guest spots from Carly Jewell and Rocky Ravik of Mystery. We have had a lot of love for their debut album back in 2021. So let's see if they can pick up where they left off. And Tim, let's start with you.
I love this band. Good dudes, great band, great rock and roll band. They do have that bit of a pub rock vibe to them, but at the same time, I almost get a little bit of like a suicidal tendencies kind of vibe and sort of how they write their riffs and put them together. Yeah.
That's a fun feel.
Yeah, and like I was thinking like punky, but it's not. It's very like suicidal tendencies, and it's sort of like, but their songwriting style around that is completely different, which makes them a very unique band to listen to.
They are.
I'd say a good follow-on from the first album. The first album was really good. This one's a little more mature without being too mature.
Yeah.
Nice. Like I said, they've learned some new tricks. I think the songwriting's a little bit better. Even little things like Mask for the Broken Hearts, the intro going into that.
Yeah.
And all that. Yeah, it was very well written songs. Cool guest appearances. Yeah, just a good all-round solid rock and roll album. Like, if you like this show, you'll probably like this album. So, 8.5 out of 10. My kind of crazy, because to be honest, I kind of related to it. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. All right, cool. Right, Dave, how about you?
Oh, this is fucking great. Right After Midnight, an excellent party metal band.
Yeah.
If you're having a barbecue,
that's a good description.
Chuck the CD on, and it's going to set your evening. If you can't put the CD on, get the fucking band to come over, and I'm sure they'll just set up in your backyard and just play.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen these guys live, and it's as much the guys in the band as it is the music they write. It's just fucking fun party. And they have their very own unique sound and style. You know, there's everything from some thrashing riffing in there to straight up hard rock. And you know, as Tim mentioned, it's kind of suicidal tendencies, not quite punk, not quite metal, just somewhere in between. It's kind of like a hybrid. But they've taken influences from a lot of different things, I think, and brought it all together into their own wonderful goodness. But yeah, there's lots of different moods and all delivered with a straight up very raw sound. I think that's part of their signature style. That the various ways that the vocals are delivered, this makes a very interesting listen. You don't have people singing like this, and it's fun. And you know, falsettos in some cases, and very vibrato, and just all different types of ways. And the gang vocals that they do in the choruses, that always works really well too. Now, if you're a guitar nerd, you're gonna love the guitar tone, and there's some very flashy stuff, but it's not pushed to the front. Some of the riffs that's going on behind all the vocals, it's like, that's really metal in that part, but the song itself isn't exactly metal. So, as I said, all put together really well. And the opening track, Hell's a Rockin', sets the album up really well, but it's certainly not a one-trick pony. It will shift gears a few times, and it'll give you some surprises. The Mask for a Broken Heart. Wasn't expecting a song like that from this band, but brings a bit of a slower mood and some great lyrics and shows a different side to them. I thought that was really, really well done. The solo in that song is fantastic. And pretty epic and really well done. Reminded me a little bit of, you know, the band Salem's Lot. They got that slow melody.
Yeah, I can say that.
To pieces. I thought both epic, different songs completely, but they're both epic and a bit of a dark vibe to it.
Yeah, nice.
Both very well done. And after that song, it gets right back into a straight up rock with Riding to the Night, which, you know, that should be played on radio. That's a fucking hit rock single right there.
Yep.
One song that got me smiling was Devil Horn Boy. That's just straight up fun. Cannot help smile with an evil grin. Yeah. You know, the riff is cool, great falsetto. The chorus is catchy as hell. And they got a bit of a Tenacious D vibe in there, but they're taking it a little bit more seriously. I could see Tenacious D doing something similar, but doing it more into the humorous side. This is more fun, but we're going to be serious, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
Strange Love, cool way to end the song in the album. You know, great guitar tone in the intro, and Kylie Jewell sounds fucking amazing. She just fits in perfectly with this band. As I said, great closing to the album. And like Tim, I give it 8.5 out of 10. Yours All Night, Mask of the Broken Heart, Devil Horn Boy, and Strange Love are my standouts.
Cool. Well, the opening of this thing has a bit of a dramatic little sort of monologue kind of thing, which puts you in mind if you know things from in the past, like Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, that kind of stuff. But then after that, the actual opening track has a sort of a bit of a Volbeat kind of a vibe to it. And that's not the only sort of gear change you get from here. It's been covered. There's a lot to go through, and we'll get to that in a second. There's a lot of fun on this one, though. It's a perfect party album. Like, if they're a perfect party band, perfect party album, that's what they are. If you like, you know, hard rock or metal that goes well in that setting, this is one for you. There was a band that used to kick around donkeys ago. I don't know what happened to them, if they're still active or not, but Party Vibes. This is like a hard rock answer to Party Vibes kind of thing from the Melbourne band kind of side of things. Tim's nodding his head.
I remember Party Vibes very well.
Yeah, they were fun. And that's the same thing with these guys. There's an endearing kind of roughness to all this sort of stuff, both in, you know, the lyrics, the singing, the production. It's endearing, though. It's got a bit of a charm to it. It's nice and you know, it's got the right kind of grit to it. You don't want to polish this stuff up too much. It just wouldn't fit the vibe. But I thought, you know, when you did dig into the production side of things, there's some nice use of panning on this one, though, and there's a lot of layering that's well done. There's a lot of attention to detail that, you know, you probably wouldn't expect when you hear the song in the first pass. When you dig in a bit deeper, there's a bit going on, which is nice done. But overall, not high production. It's just an honest and well-balanced mix overall, which does a really, really good job of representing the band in, you know, an honest sense. But I like how they kept little in-studio moments when, you know, they're having some laughs and some fun and that, and they've kept it in the final mix, which I think is important because it shows how much fun they're having, which helps it to sort of can project out through the speakers and drag you in for the ride with these guys, which is what the whole album's about. I think that when you get down to it, though, these are really well-written songs. There's a diverse collection of songs in this one, too, but also some damn good hooks. And a lot of these become earworms really, really quickly. Once you got them in your head, they're not going to come out easily at all. And there's some fantastic riffs across this, too. Like, there's some great lead work, but the riffing, the groove, the swing, that was what really got my attention. Like, these, you can hear that this would be a hell of a lot of fun. If I were to play this album back to front or front to back, whatever, in a live setting, it'd fucking go off. It'd be a whole lot of fun for that, 48 minutes, whatever it is that it goes for. It's nothing complicated, but it's just a really good time. My Kind of Crazy, that one with the falsetto touch sort of put me in mind a bit of the darkness. So you got some Volbeat at the start, you got some darkness and this. And in between, you got this sort of just this rough and ready kind of rock and roll going on. There's a few tracks sort of hint at different bands, but at the same time, they're doing something that's all their own. They are definitely their own beast, which is awesome. Mask for the Broken Hearts, like Dave mentioned, that's a good slower track that is probably as close as you get to a ballad from these guys. But again, you don't really expect it. That and the song Strange Love, at the end of the album, those ones really sort of make you sort of go, oh, hang on, I'm going to sort of sit back and take notice, because they've shown some growth, like not only in the diversity of the delivery, especially vocally, but also just the songwriting approach, how they've got more gears to them now. Nothing that doesn't, nothing, oh my God, such a diversion, but it just all fits. It's all natural, organic, and they're growing as a band. And that's considering the debut album was in 2021. They got another album now in 2022, and they're rapidly kind of growing into this thing that is their own sound with, it's fucking fantastic, actually. Well done to them. Rocky Ravik appears on the track One Way Ticket. That's probably the most pure metal song on this album, which is a nice little touch there. Really nice and direct, sort of punchy track. Good bit of meanness on the album that brings to it. And that sort of is where a more aggressive sort of run of tracks sort of starts off. You've got nothing extreme, but tracks like Devil Horn Born, that was really cool as well. And there's a nice little bit of a keys touch in that one too. Feeling Reckless, there's some bite in it. There's a lot going on. But then you get, Day For It, after that sort of little run of more of meaner songs, Day For It is just a pure party song. If you want to listen to this band and one song, try and sum them up, I reckon Day For It is probably one of those ones that you could sum it up. And they could probably release that as a single in their style with one of their videos that they do. They've got their own unique quirk to it all. I reckon Day For It would be perfect for these guys to release in that format. The one thing that really got my attention most of all was the closing track, Strange Love with Carly Jewel. That was just a really different vibe, darker, more somber kind of thing. It's a much more serious track than you're kind of expecting out of it all. But Carly really complements what they've done with that song in the sonic space, the way it's mixed, the way it's written, the space in it too. Like, you got a lot of echoing kind of guitar hits and that going through it. It's a really good way to close the album out. And I reckon, it's a standout element. I reckon it was really well done. I love that song to bits. If you're a fan of this band already, this is more of what you know and love from these guys, but also a natural sort of bit of progression from them. If you don't know these guys, check them out because they're a hell of a lot of fun and well worth your time. This is a good, fun listen from top to bottom. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I picked Strange Love, Yours All Night, and Feeling Reckless as my standouts as well. But Devil Horn Born was a close one to being a standout as well. I did really enjoy the one too. So that was a very, very cool one. Well done to all involved in that. Alrighty, got some comments. Darren is saying, damn, these guys are awesome. So we're getting some love for them from the comments, which is awesome to see. Thank you for jumping in and saying that. Nicole is saying the most fun Melbourne metal band was Mass Confusion. There we go. There's a name we haven't had kicking around for a while, but yeah, nicely done there. Benjamin says, my New Zealand-styled logo would be a dozen double brown beer cans surrounded with a cracked old broken porcelain toilet seat. There we go. That is a good logo. Here we go. Darren says on that track with Strange Love has a sort of psychedelic doom, and that's pretty cool there as well. So there we are. And Benjamin's giving us yes. I'm assuming that's in reference to what we're talking about here. But anyway, alrighty. Very, very cool. A lot of love for those guys. Let's keep it going. Oh, here we go. So finally got me a Dean MLX. Been stomping around the house like Dimebag while I play the guitar. No, I did see you put a photo on Facebook. That's nice. Awesome, man. Enjoy. Absolutely enjoy. Feel free to, put some video up. We'd all love to see it. All righty. Next band, next album, and we'll do one more after this, and then Tim will depart while Dave and I will bring home the show after that. But the next one is a little artist known as Michael Monroe. You may know him from a little band called Hanoi Rocks. But anyway, the newest sort of single that I picked from that one is Everybody's Nobody. So the artist is Michael Monroe. The song is Everybody's Nobody. That's a reference track for you in the comments, in the description box. Go and check it out while we have a little bit of a chat about this album. So this is Michael Monroe, I Live Too Fast to Die Young. 11 tracks, 38 minutes, the 10th solo studio album from the Finnish artist most known for being the frontman for Hanoi Rocks. Released June 2022 via Silver Lining Music, produced by the band with Erno Era Leitonen at Inkfish Studios in Helsinki. 3 singles have been released, including Can't Stop Falling Apart and Murder, The Summer of Love. This album has a few guest spots, including one from Slash on the title track as well, playing some lead guitar there.
I did not know that. Fuck,
there we go. We've just stumped Dave going, I didn't know that. There you go. On the title track, he appears as a guitar guest spot there. There you go, Dave. What do you think of the album overall, mate?
Oh, it's fucking great. It's getting another point now. Slash is on it. My scoring system. Now, this is a really cool album. You got the strong opening with Murder, The Summer of Love, and that title alone puts you in the frame of mind of what this album's going to be like. Yeah. Now, it's not exactly punk rock. The songs are too long and they have guitar solos for that, but it has some of that attitude. It's also classic rock, but it's not dated. It's not a throwback. It's just old school songwriting. Some of the music, and especially the delivery and the tone of his voice, really reminds me of early Alice Cooper. I wonder if they ever worked together. I could see their voices going together really well. The song on here, Everybody's Nobody, I could picture Alice Cooper writing them and singing that. It's right out of early Alice Cooper.
Yeah, good point.
I haven't heard much of Michael Monroe's early solo stuff before this. I've heard lots of Hanoi Rocks, but his voice hasn't aged at all. He sounds great throughout this.
He's still got it, yeah.
He certainly does. The third track in, Derelict Palace, that was a really nice shift of gears. As soon as that came on with its minor key feel, I thought, okay, this isn't going to be a one-trick pony. There's going to be a lot of different types of songs throughout this. But I thought there's some really nice note choices in that. It gave a very, very cool mood. I like songs like that. And you don't get such a drastic, heavily minor feel.
Yeah.
Really. Different moods and tempos throughout. All Fighter has a straight-up punk energy. Different type of rock songs to the first two. Yeah. The chorus is great to that. These songs will be fantastic live. And
what a fun.
Anti-Socialite, that has a really cool wordplay in the title itself. And that's just instantly memorable. You hear that once, it's like, yeah, cool. That's cool. And cool they brought some piano to the album as well.
Yeah.
Pagan Prayer. When that song came on, just like, hey, is this Time from Anthrax? Intro with the bass. Like, okay, cool. Slightly different. Okay, cool. But fast and melodic rocker. And gang shouts and make that song fun. You got the gang shouts and the vocals. That'd be cool as well. Interesting idea putting the title track as second last. Yeah. Most albums open or at least it's in the first 1, 2, or 3 songs. But it's like it worked really well. It's like everything's leading up to this one track. It's like the closing moments of a concert. You know, the biggest song at the end, everyone goes nuts, and you have final song for an encore. Yeah, it was a cool idea. I did like the solo in that. I did not pick it as Slash. I did not know that. That is cool. It's very cool. But yeah, Michael Monroe was on Use Your Illusion, wasn't he?
Well, you know better than I would from memory.
Yeah, he is. He's in the pictures inside. He's guest track. Yeah. That's cool. It's like a good Michael Monroe. That'd be cool. But yeah, Hanoi Rocks should have been bigger. Michael Monroe, a bit underrated. I think he should be a bit more appreciated. Just found out he's posted on his social media. He got one of those Lemmy bullets with Lemmy's ashes and stuff. Yeah, he's just arrived. He's got posted the letter, so it was only like family and close friends of Lemmy. So if he's good enough for Lemmy, he's good enough for everyone. But if you haven't heard any of his stuff before, check out this album. It's pretty fucking cool. Yeah. I gave it 8 out of 10, getting 8.5 out of 10 now. Give it an extra half point for Slash. Young Drunks and Old Alcoholics, Derelict Palace, Anti-Socialite, and Pagan Prayer are my standouts. But yeah, this is cool.
Good choices. How about you, Tim?
I thought this was a mixed bag.
Okay. Yeah.
A solid mixed bag. Right now, my reason for saying this is some of the songs are like absolute standouts. Like I thought All Fighter was fantastic. Pagan Prayer, fantastic. Performances are great. You can't fault his voice. His voice is phenomenal.
Yep.
But I thought some of the songwriting choices were a little bit on the cliche side.
I was wondering if that was where you were going to go next on the cliche. They leaned into it pretty heavy.
They did lean into it, but it wasn't cliche enough to be cheesy.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And that's where for me it kind of fell a little bit like Young Drunks and Alcoholics is like primo example of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you go into like I think, is it that one or is it the Derelict Plays where it goes into like the 50s style guitar solo, then you go into the twos beats on the drums, and then straight into the gang vocals afterwards. And all that. It did feel a little bit by the numbers from that perspective. Having said that, there are also, like I said, moments where it's just knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
So, but again, by the nature of, me thinking it's a little bit by the numbers, if that's your kind of, if he's drawing numbers that you like, then you're going to love it from start to finish.
Yeah.
So that's just purely a taste thing. So, like I said, for me, it's a mixed bag. If it's your kind of thing, though, it's worth checking out because you're probably going to dig it.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, performance is great, production's great. All these, Scandinavian albums seem to knock all that shit out of the park.
Yeah, you can't find it. You don't hear a shit sounding album out of that area at all.
No, it's like all the black metal bands took the shitty producers, and then everybody else got all the.
That's actually a fair point, I reckon.
Yeah, everybody else sounds like magnificent, and like even from that perspective. But the reason why I say that is because look, there are a lot of Euro rock bands out there right now, and for me, I think if you're going to stand out, you really got to knock them out of the park because it's been a thing now for 15 years, and eventually it's going to die out. So having some good and some okay might not be enough for me to cut through.
Yep.
So like I said, All Fighter and Pagan Prayer and a couple of other tracks. Great songs. 18 months from now, am I going to remember it? Probably not.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
7 out of 10. Good listen.
Still a good score.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I get what you're saying. If you like sort of modern hard rock at all, just the blends melody and grit, you're going to enjoy this one. This one has a lot of energy. It's got some really up-tempo riffs. But what I think stands out is maybe not so much the songs, quote unquote, but Michael Monroe's voice is the really standout element because when it comes to all the rock from that side of the world, there's a grit to this that isn't as prevalent in the scene as I think it could be. I think they could use a bit more grit in some of the artists over there. So I think that makes this one stand out on its own in that regard, just sonically. I got the impression too that I get what you mean about the cliche side of things, but I enjoyed that side, especially lyrically, because it sort of played into the guy that started out young and has now got some years under his belt and he's sort of telling stories from a different perspective. I get the cliche aspect, but at the same time, I found it endearing. So maybe he was painting the right numbers for me because I was enjoying it at the same time. So again, comes down to taste. The execution was pretty good overall from this one, top to bottom. I thought the whole idea of this album was to keep the party going, which is kind of fitting after Riot After Midnight before. Songs like, Young Drunks and Old Alcoholic, that sort of summed that whole vibe up to me. It's like, you got the old dogs just trying to keep the party going for as long as they can. And that's just sort of where this one sat for me. There's some really interesting dramatic touches on this one, like the panned reverb flash and Derelict Palace. Little things here and there that are really well done. Nothing over the top, but those little touches help each song stand out from each other, and they get your attention. It's good for the overall balance of the listen on the album. And I think that where the grit comes in from the vocals, the overall mix on this was nice and warm too, which gave it, a really sort of inviting feel, and it keeps that it's easy to listen to, even though there's a bit more grit in the vocal than you might expect from this part of the world. This one really does sort of, have a really warm, inviting tone to which sort of sucks you in a bit more easily, so to speak. And, everything here has depth and space. It's all really crisp, and that's what allows, the songs to shine because everything is so clear. And everything is really well written and performed. You can't fault any aspect of execution, from mix to writing, performances, all that sort of stuff. The execution from top to bottom is really fucking well done. Dave mentioned Antisocialite. I thought that was a nice piano-led kind of ballad right in the middle of the album, which is a nice sort of touch there. It gives that whole side A, side B kind of moment in the album flow. that also leans into the whole thing. Everything's got this old school approach, but it's all sort of very contemporary at the same time. It's the blending of the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 eras. Now, what are you going to put it as? There's not a heap of flash on this one. The solos are tasteful. Slash is one for me did stand out a bit more because I just thought it was a lengthier solo for starters than a lot of the other ones as well. So there's a bit more play in it, so to speak. I thought that was an overall enough flash, but that one really did sort of stand out more for it. Heaps of talent across this one. Tracks like Can't Stop Falling Apart also show that while this has sort of got a bit of a foundation in the blues, there's a lot more than that to offer in one album. That one was a bit of a different one, but everything ties together nicely. No two tracks are alike, which, I said that got the side A-B moment before. This one sort of keeps that sort of this whole album has a nice flow to it, I should say, which is, engaging and easy to listen to. It's easy to take in. Nothing is no two tracks are clones of each other, which is good too. Can't Stop Falling Apart. Sorry, I said that before, didn't I? Fucking hell. Pagan Prayer was what I was going to next. That one had a bit of a punky sort of a bite to it, which it was a different sort of vibe toward the end of the album there, which is a nice little touch of things. And that one had a nice little bit of social commentary to it as well, I thought, which is nicely well done there. I thought, like Dave said, the title track being near the end of the album was a good payoff. It sort of did feel like it was building to that moment. But then afterward, you've got Dearly Departed, which is more of an introspective and sort of somber track that it just brings a little bit more weight to proceedings overall and adds a bit of darkness. And I thought it was a nice sort of way to close things out on this one. I think that, all in all, it's not breaking any new ground, but it's very well done, very, very solid from top to bottom. And there are no serious sort of flat spots for me. If you enjoy one song from this, I think you'll enjoy pretty much the whole album. If it gets your attention, you're going to listen to the whole thing. If you hear one song and it doesn't grab you, chances are the whole album will be the same thing for you. But I think that this is, it's one of those ones where it's modern yet classic infused all at the same time. And if you like, your old school hard rock at all, get onto it. 8 out of 10 from me. Young Drunks and Old Alcoholics, Can't Stop Falling Apart, and I Live Too Fast to Die Young were my standouts on this one. So there we go. Some different opinions now, which is cool. But at least the funny thing is that even though Tim's opinion was different, he still gave it a pretty good score, actually, from where I thought that was going. So there we go. Got some comments here. Lee has saying, I know Lee was into this one. Lee was saying, digging this album. Michael Monroe is still delivering the goods. There we go. Vinny says, a good, uncomplicated old school album, anthem, has a great weekend feel to it, which is nice there. Okay, what do we got here? So Benjamin says, my old friend Tracy Guns is currently on the road with the Tom Kiefer Band and Faster Pussycat on the LA Guns North American tour. And my good mates from Alien Weaponry are currently in Europe again for the big festivals and a bunch of dates with Gojira. Two bands I always watch for, LA Guns and Alien Weaponry. Yes, they're both doing very, very good things at the moment. And Rowan is asking, off topic, but do you keep a spreadsheet of your ratings somewhere online? No. Is the simple answer to that one. Basically, to try and compile those things, unfortunately, there's just not enough time to go around. I would love to set up a website that has a bit more of that sort of stuff going on. I think we have talked about it before, Dave, in the past. You and I in particular have discussed something like that, some sort of archive, but it's one of those things. It's a passion project. We'll get to it when we try to sort of get there, kind of thing. But
when we're doing this full time,
I can employ someone to go through and archive shit for me, that'll be when it'll get done. I'm sorry to disappoint, but it'd be nice to do that, but it's challenging. There'd be interesting concepts though. Like you go back through and think about a decade worth of the stuff we've done. And you think back, okay, if we went back and sort of did like we've got that King of the Riff format now. If we did one of those, like if we had to go through and find an album that one or two of us, maybe make it two of us, rated a 10 out of 10 over the decade. If two panelists
go back to it
and just do like a King of the Riff kind of format on those albums, that'd be interesting to go back and try out. Just popping my head just now. That'd be an interesting little format. That would be challenging.
I'd like to go over my scores from 5 years ago and see if I agree with them.
That'd be a good one too, actually. Go back through. That should be something we might actually do that. Go back through, pick maybe your top 2 albums of a particular year and put them head to head kind of thing and see if it stays that way or not. That might be a simpler way to do that as well. But that'd be interesting sort of revisiting because we've been doing it for so long now, we've got that sort of scope, haven't we? We can go back and revisit things and see if we agree with what we said before. It's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Nicole's going, I love doing lists of stuff. Okay.
Lists are fun.
Lists are fun. Yeah, lists are fun. If you want to do lists of our ratings, though, I don't know what I can give you in support of doing that, but lists in general are fun. We're trying to do more. But yeah, anyone wants to have a crack at doing it, then by all means, have a go.
Plenty of videos on YouTube. Go through them, write it all down, and let us know.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when I put the blurb up for the YouTube video, there's usually the average score of it there. Yeah. So I take the 3 or 2 scores and make an average out of it, or 4, or however many of us do it. I do put an average score in there, as well as the most common standout tracks as well. So it is there. It's just not collated anywhere for anyone to sort of do. Nicole's going, where do I start? Wherever you can begin.
Well, I'm sure Andrew's got tons hard drives. Where
you have no idea how many fucking terabytes of shit I've got. It's fucked.
Oh, I've got some idea.
Well, you see my desk. There's a lot of hard drives. Because
I think as well, like back in the doing the old format, like how many albums we did that never made it to air.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, and I've got to go back and cut them all up. Like I could spend 8 hours a day editing, and it'd still take me a good 3 years, I reckon, to get everything done.
Yeah, because we used to do like 5 or 6 albums per episode.
Yeah.
And you'd probably get 3 or 4, depending on how long they went on TV. Because you got to have extra content just in case things work out, whatever. And it's like there'd be so much shit.
There's so much. There is so much to go through. I do want to clean it all up. It's just
the idea of cataloging everything and having everything a database of some kind is awesome. Yeah. It's just doing it would take months and of full-time work.
I'd have to employ someone to basically sit down and do that full-time.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to do it as well as doing everything else at the same time, because as the way things sit, we host and we stream and I produce everything at the same time. There's also TV content to produce as well as this stuff to produce and the extra stuff we're doing all the time. It's full on. Just doing that, it would take a long time for someone to sit there and go, okay, I've got 10 plus hard drives. Shit, just sitting there. Here, sort. And that's not even including the old DVDs I burnt of the old episodes going way back into the first couple of seasons. Like it's a nightmare. It's a lot of fun, but a lot of work. We'll see how we go there. I'll try and work out something if I can. It's just a matter of trying to, you want to help us out? Check out our Patreon page. The more support we get there, the less hours I have to spend on a day job, the more chance we have of getting those things done. That's just where it's at, unfortunately. Got to keep working a day job to keep the lights on. Patreon helps a lot. It helps us to make sure this thing doesn't actually cost money, which is important at the moment. Because even just renewing things like websites and email kind of things, that costs hundreds every year. All that sort of stuff is insane. But anyway, getting off topic. But yeah, it's a bit of fun there. There's a lot to get through. We'll see how we go with it all. It's a passion project for another time. We'll see how we go. Danny says, I just love your voices and faces. You've got me through a bottle and a half of red. Well, that's good because we're always...
That's what we're here for.
People to run at the moment, so it's always good. Sally's gone. I remember Dave's Arctic Monkey review. That was funny as there is some gold that...
I don't remember that. Fuck.
Oh, that was hilarious, man. That was great.
Was that real shit album they released?
That was the one that Brendan brought in.
That was terrible.
Oh, that was fucking woeful. My God, one of the
worst. I blocked that from my mind. I remember doing it. I don't remember a thing I said. I don't remember the album.
Weird piano soundscapey kind of thing. And
it was that Brendan lounge music thing.
That's it. Yeah, Brendan chose it, and even he ripped into it. Like it was fucking hilarious. Stuck straight into it. That was bad. There is some hilarious stuff we've filmed together over the years. Nicole said, I'll attempt one. Don't hold your breath for one in a hurry. School holidays. I'm not holding my breath. If I haven't managed to do it over a decade, I'm not pressuring anyone to do anything in that regard. But Danny says, Snape up. We'll see you later soon. Can't wait, mate. Make sure you let us know when you're down. Rowan says, if you make a list on Google Sheets, review a score, link to YouTube video, then I can write a script to automatically generate a web page. Okay, cool. We're getting some people here. Rowan and Nicole, go nuts. No, Nicole's going, I'll start on YouTube first. And then Rowan's going, well, then it's all yours. It's Rowan because you lost me at Google Sheets. Here we go. Nicole was thinking Excel spreadsheets. And then back to the album there for Arctic Monkeys. Dave hated it big time, says Sally. So, yeah, don't think any of us liked it at all. I had nothing complimentary to say about it. We should find, go back and revisit some of the worst albums I've ever heard as well. Like, find some of the best ones and then do a fucking about it and flip it and do.
Oh, I can see Michael Sweet coming out.
Oh, we should maybe blackball that one. That will get us in trouble again. Well, that was fucking hilarious. All right,
worse.
Hey,
that one just went from bad to worse to off the fucking chart. I couldn't
believe how far we were going down that rabbit hole. Once you got going, there was just no stopping you. It was
just the things I said, the things I was thinking. I could have gotten a lot worse.
Oh,
I know.
It was wow. Like, we've got some fucking hilarious moments, and there's all this shit that just the byplay between us too that hasn't seen the light of day because it's just not for any purpose.
Well, that's what I mean. Because the cameras are running the whole time.
We record everything. Yeah.
And it was it's as it goes. You finish an episode. All right, break. Everyone just stands around. There's be so much shit to go through.
I know, and we all just keep talking. We all love talking, in case you can't tell. So we just keep fucking going for hours. Some of those nights would go, like I had on the old camera, there was like 8+ hours of memory on it. We'd use it up. It was crazy. Like, there's so many hours of footage out there to go to. Vinny's gone, you can pay in lettuce heads. I can't afford lettuce heads. So,
I'm just glad that we're living at a time now where avocados are cheaper than lettuce.
It'll be that thing where they tell the millennials to stop buying lettuce to save for their house.
Oh yeah, man, smash lettuce toast.
Yeah. The funniest thing about it is lettuce is 80+% water or something like that. It's fucking
it's mostly water. It's who lettuce is a thing you buy and you put it in something just as filler.
Yeah, it literally is filler. Yeah,
So I don't who cares? Just stop buying it.
Yeah, well, get some carrots and grate them up. That'll work better.
Exactly.
What? Oh, here we go. Danny's gone. Worst one. Try Santa Cruz's new single. So there we go. He's really not happy with that single. I have to check it out now just to see how bad
listen to the single.
I know it's one of those hate listens now, isn't it? You have to listen to see how bad it really is. TC's jumps in. Brennan's review of Pop Evil was outstanding. That was a good one too. We've had some classics over the years. Danny said I heard KFC is changing it to cabbage. So there we go.
Yeah.
And
everywhere's using cabbage here at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably a bit easier actually. But
which is bizarre because it's not a lap for like.
Yeah, taste is very different. One's watery, one's bitter. But anyway, Sally says, remember Nick was going to employ a lawyer for hurting his ears once. I can't recall the band Hysterical. That's
the Arctic Monkeys review.
That is the Arctic Monkeys one. Yeah, that was the same one. We fucking ripped into it so bad.
What year was that? I'm trying to look it up.
18.
I want to say 2018 or so.
Yeah, it was 18. Fuck. We're into the weeds now.
It's the album After AM.
Yeah. I could look it up, but I'll end up having fucking thumping keyboard noise.
I'm just trying to look up the old review.
The review. I don't know if did I cut that one release? I don't know. Because the stuff I cut for TV didn't always make it to YouTube either because I've just got too many time constraints. Can't release everything the same. It's fucked. Got to get into the archive and clear it all out. Anyway, let's add to the archive before I even fucking get anything done. Let's move on to the final review for Tim here before we let him go tonight. And in the comments, in the description box, there's a little artist known as Jorn. And or Jorn Landy, take your pick. And the track I've given as a reference is the song Dead London. So the artist, there we go. Danny's gone. 4 a.m. is the album you're looking for. That's what it was called. So that's what we're going for. All right. Anyway, back to this one. So Jorn, Dead London. That's in the comments in the description box. Go and check it out where we talk about the new album from Jorn Land. So this is Jorn with Over the Horizon Radar, 11 tracks, 58 minutes, the 10th studio album from the Norwegian vocalist and songwriter Jorn Land, released June 2022 via Frontiers Records, produced by Jorn himself. 3 singles have been released, including the title track and One Man War. This also features an extended edition of the track Faith Bloody Faith, which was originally released as a contribution to Eurovision in 2021. Another artist that a lot of us have enjoyed over the years, I think there was a Dracula album that a few of us really liked back in the days when Jimmy and Dennis, I think Dave, you were there for that too. But we also enjoyed Life on Death Road in 2017, so hopefully this one follows on nicely from that. And Tim, let's start with you.
All right, now I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Andrew, you should post the cover art in the comments.
I don't know if I can. Yeah.
Because this is some glorious cover art.
Yeah.
This is some of the finest cover art. It's like 70s sci-fi, and he's gone, make me a human Godzilla. It is unbelievable. This is some of the finest cover art of all time. And I saw this cover art and I thought, oh, we are in for a journey here.
Yeah.
But in spite of the cover art, this album is actually pretty damn awesome. In a way that, look, when you get a cover art that ridiculous, I'm expecting like Hammerfall level cheese.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And when, like, from the opening, it took probably half a song, halfway through the first chorus of the first track to go, okay, start again. This is completely not what I expected. And it's just a great, solid, hard rock album. Everything that I didn't like about the Michael Monroe album is completely gone from this album. And everything that I like from that album is here. Now, this is what I say. When you're going to make this style of an album, you've got to do something to stand out. You've got to knock it out of the park in order to compete with the amount of bands that are going on. And this is how it should be done. This is an excellent album, start to finish. Not a dud track on here. Even though I'm not a fan of quieter moments in hard rock albums, but even though in this album I found that worked, lyrics wasn't no. Like, everything was played straight and to the point. There was no hint of cheese, no hint of nothing, but again, done very well. Guitar sounds fantastic, nice and meaty, which again, in this style of albums, you tend to get a lot of mid-range and a lot of wailing stuff, but again, you got that nice, thick, crunchy stuff, which I personally really like. And I thought and it suited his voice really well. So this is a home run for me. I thought this was a fantastic album from start to finish. Like I said, there's not a dud on it. So, 9 out of 10 for me. I thought this was fucking awesome. One Man War was my highlight. But again, like I said, I liked them all.
Nice. Cool. How about you, Dave?
Yeah, this is fantastic. Have either of you had a chance to see Jorn live in concert?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't.
I have the superiority of the group. Seeing him live, he is an absolute fucking beast of a singer, man. Nice. I've never seen anybody hold the microphone so far away from his actual mouth. They usually are up around here. But yeah, he's got such a powerful voice. It's fucking amazing. I saw him with Avantasia. And that was
the Godzilla artwork, Tim.
Yeah. I was thinking that when you mentioned Godzilla, because that's a good way of summing this guy up. But yeah, that was one of the best concerts I'd ever seen. He was certainly one of the stars on the stage, and there was a lot of talent on that stage. But yeah, this is just a great album from start to finish. Not the heaviest of metal albums, not the most technically flash, but everything serves the songs. All about the performances, all about the songwriting. No ego stroking, even though the guitarist can really play. But, it's not, hey, look at me. I don't even know who the guitarist is. But it's not just the guitarist. And the Jorn could quite easily be, I'm the star, everything about me, but nah, it's all about what makes the song. The second song, Dead London, got me wondering if this was a concept album, because, the style of music would lend itself very easily to concept albums, but I think it's just that one song had a very engaging story with the beginning, middle,
and end. That song is based on War of the Worlds. That's why.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
And you can tell some songs like that had the start, the middle. There's not really a conclusion, and this had a conclusion. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
But it's not the song itself, just the guitar melodies and the harmonies and the riffs and everything. That in itself is beautiful. And then you got the awesome vocals on top of it. Now, if you're into inspirational lyrics and all that type of upbeat stuff, the song Special Edition, I thought that was very cool. And once again,
cool.
not overly done. It doesn't turn into a spiritual love fest or anything. It doesn't go too tacky, but it's just a bit of inspiration that we need in some dark times that the world's been through. Now,
a nice song, still a nice song to hear, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, as expected, songs are about 5 to 7 minutes. Not overly long, not short. There was one track that's Winds of Home. It's only about 3 minutes. Nice little slow, moody track that breaks things up a bit. Did come to a sudden ending. I thought that was a little bit odd. Still a cool song, but just like, oh, okay, we're done. But maybe it was going to be 7 minutes, and they thought, no, fuck it, we'll just make it 3.
They did a Dream Theater trick and just stopped it.
Yeah, no, enough. Stop playing. But yeah, there was some pretty epic compositions throughout this. The song Ode to Black Nightshade. That starts slow. There's some flutes in there. Very subtle, nice touch. A little bit Jethro Tullish to start with, and then it gets heavier as the song unwinds. Vocals once again are fantastic in that, but I thought that was a really well composed song.
Yeah.
In the Dirt, that's a pretty cool moderate tempo rock song with some very dark tones in the bass around there. And there's a lyric in there that really, really stood out to me. I don't know why. It's like a respirator, you're the air I breathe. That's a cool comparison. It's kind of like life support, and I don't know if I want to be likened to a respirator, but yeah, cool, okay.
Could be in the age of COVID moment, but anyway.
Yeah, you're my salvation and my lifeblood or whatever. Yeah. But overall, it's a very cool album if you're a fan of great performances and great songwriting. Not aggressive, not political, not dripping with love ballads. But great music. I also gave it 9 out of 10. Dead London, Ode to the Black Nightshade, and In the Dirt are my standouts.
Nice. Cool. Well, basically, if you're a fan of his work, you're going to love this album. But if you're in the mood for classic hard rock loaded with melody, then this is going to scratch that itch. This one, just from the start, just goes bang. It just goes from the beginning and doesn't really let you go. I thought that in terms of, it's funny because this is a Frontiers release, and it has their sort of in-house maestro Alessandro Del Vecchio playing keys and synth on this one, and he didn't get to run this show. I think Jorn was running the show, and Alessandro was just there to sort of just facilitate things and help along, because the synth work on this is very subtle. It's very nicely blended in. It's not overpowering at all. It's just a nice little sort of filling moment for these songs. There is some nice track between that and the guitar in certain bits and pieces here and there, but overall it's a nice little, it's a thing. It's one of those ones where it's done well enough that if it's not there, you'll miss it. But when it is there, you don't really super notice it on anything. It just fills things out in just the right ways, which is actually what Dave was saying. There's no ego attached to this, not even from Jorn, not from anyone. There's no ego. Everything here is about serving the songs, which in turn serves the albums, and that's brilliant from top to bottom across this record. I love the guitar tone on this one. The guitar tone was fucking outstanding. Everything on this is tasteful, but what grabbed me most of all was the depth in the writing and the performances across this album. You've got a banger of an opener, but then that's followed by Dead London, which is inspired War of the Worlds. You've taking that, and like what Dave thought that one song was sort of leading into a concept thing, taking and condensing that part of the story into that song was really well done. I just thought that was the aspect of storytelling out of the albums talking about tonight. This one has all the other ones beat. I just thought the storytelling was fucking phenomenal on this record. Every album I've heard from Jorn in that regard is brilliant. He just, doesn't fuck around in that regard. He knows exactly what he's doing, just knows how to write really good songs and tell great stories. On top of that, though, you got the hooks, which are there for days. These songs just are so well composed. They will stay with you. There's nothing forgettable at this one. You will know you've heard this album and you'll come back to it pretty often as well. And they did things like there's a point near the start of the album where you got 2 7-minute songs back to back. Then near the end of the album, you got 2 6-minute songs back to back. And none of it drags. It all flows incredibly well. Like you would think that putting 2 really long songs side by side, I'm normally critical of that. In this case, it just worked because the composition, the way that things move through the modes of the songs, just really well done. I think the mix is absolutely phenomenal. The way the vocals are presented is perfect, and they just stand out, but in the right ways. There's still enough room for everyone to get their time to shine on it too, but it was such a perfectly balanced mixed. There's some great solos on this one too. The one in Black Phoenix in particular got my attention the most, but across this one, the guitar was done just right, as well as like everything else. The rhythm section is fantastic too. I don't know. It was funny how it's all done under the Jorn name, but this feels like a complete band playing together and just serving the overall product with everything they've got, kind of thing. Everyone is, putting the song first, which I said before, but just needs to be restated because it's really important to how good this is. Heaps of light and shade across this record. It's well-rounded listen from top to bottom. The tempo change, the peaks and troughs, for those that are playing along at home and have done for quite some years now. This thing is so well done. It flies by as a listen. Winds of Home, that was a different track on here, almost sort of that soundscapey kind of moment with the pulse of the riff sort of driving things. There's a lot of Foley in that one too. That was one of those ones where you just sit back for the 2.5, 3.5 minutes that it was, and sort of just your mind just goes away somewhere in that, and you get this really sort of imaginative, I don't know, it was really just sort of conscious pictures in your mind of a windswept kind of thing for me, but it was really cool, really well done. And the closing track that's meant for Eurovision, like you can tell that it's meant for Eurovision. It's much more upbeat, sort of poppier kind of bass to it, but at the same time, it fits. Like it actually fits on at the end of the album, and that hook for Faith Bloody Faith, what a hook! Like you can hear that one straight away in your head again. It's a really well written song actually, and that one too actually had a bit of cut in the lyrics, which was a nice sort of. It's one of those ones where you've dressed up a bit of a meaning in a message and sort of disguised it in a very catchy tune kind of thing to sort of, it's like when you give a dog a tablet and you put it inside the meat kind of thing. It's like you suck him in with the treat and then you give him the bit of medicine to go with it. It was very well done sort of song there in that regard. I think a lot of our audience are going to enjoy this one if you like melody and riffs, but also just good songwriting in general. This is really going to appeal to you. I think this is one of those ones where it's classic and modern at the same time. I enjoyed it from top to bottom. I will be going back to this one quite often. I think it could well be a top 10 contender this year. It's 9.5 out of 10 from me. Dead London, One Man War, Ode to the Black Nightshade, In the Dirt, my standouts, but there's no duds on this one at all. I absolutely loved it from top to bottom. Absolutely phenomenal release. So well done. That was fucking fantastic. We do have some comments on this one too, which is cool. What do we got? Vinny's gone. The D's have smashed the Lions. 1v2 was a fizzer. That's unfortunate. Whoa, Dave, what are you doing, Dave? He's
Well, mate, shit.
The footy came into the context and Dave bailed. Like
Black clockwork.
That just bang, perfect. What do we got here? Spavin Lake Sunbury Environment News. Oh, good to see you. That's a new one tonight. Thank you for jumping in. Jorn, great vocals, twin guitar leads in the songs. Faves are Dead London, One Man War, In the Dirt, Believer, and Over the Horizon Radar. Nice choices. Thank you for chiming in there. Very much appreciate the feedback there. On to the lyric video. Danny says the lyric video is sick, which is nicely done. Rowan agrees with you, Dave. Jorn live sounds exactly like Jorn recorded, which is nice. More love here from Elliot too. Good to see you, buddy. Jorn has one of the best metal voices. Another great album. Which is a lot of love for this one here. Rowan also says Jorn sings on and inspired my two favorite all-time albums, Beyond Twilight, Devil's Hall of Fame, and For the Love of Art and the Making, respectively, which is nicely done there. He also says this is more in his hard rock style than the prog metal I prefer, but anything with Jorn vocals is going to be good. There's a lot of Jorn albums I prefer over this one, but I still give it an 8. Okay, cool. Man family have joined us tonight, late night. Go Demons. Yes, you'd be happy here, so thank you for joining us. Doesn't matter when you get here, just as long as you can join and have some fun with us. Darren says, great sounding album that highlights Jorn's vocal talents. Very impressive. Oh, here we go. Nicely put there too, by the way. Sorry, I sort of jumped into the next comment. Yeah, no, very, very good point. Good point there, Darren. And Rowan also says, future draw game, top 5 Jorn albums. That could be challenging. That could be challenging indeed. But TC here has gone off topic, but Megadeth just dropped their new single and it's outstanding. I haven't heard that one yet. Obviously, been here doing this, but yeah, we'll have to go and check that out as well. I know of one person who's just joined us who'll be keen to check that out as well. So Conrad says hello. He's gone just joined. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well. Megadeth, TC just said Megadeth just dropped a new single. It's outstanding. So I know that you'll be keen to go and check that out, Conrad. So by all means, go and let us know what you think of that as well. I'm sure we'll have to cover that one in the next stream. Fuck, there's a lot of singles coming out from this week, it looks like. We have the busy week in that regard next week. Let's see how we go. But that kind of winds you up, doesn't it, Tim? That gets you sort of one and done, and you're out of here for the night. So, is there anything you wanted to put in the bin before you jump on out? There's a lot of low hanging fruit at the moment, but what are you gunning for?
This one annoys me specifically is people who take corners in shopping centre car parks as if it's the first corner of a Grand Prix. They take the wide berth and then they cut inside to minimise the track length, and then they hit stand on the brakes and just stare at you like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're driving on the wrong side of the road and you're staring at me. What the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah, in the bin.
I agree. Car park driving is the worst. Yeah, well put. I hate it, to be honest. Sorry. Yeah, shopping centre car park. It's funny how fucking bad the driving skill has gone over the last couple of years. It's
Well, I don't know if it's gotten bad or if it's just like, because I was working the whole way through the pandemic. If I just got used to having no cars around.
Maybe. Bit of both, perhaps? Yeah.
Possibly. But, yeah.
It's funny because just on the back to Megadeth for a second, we've got Nick in the chat going on about the new Megadeth single at the same time as Conrad has shared it in the comments too. So I had, like, in Messenger and in comments, the link going off in both fronts there. So bit of fun. I'll have to go and check that out. That'll be one we'll definitely be talking about very, very soon there. Danny loves your little bin there, Tim. So that's one for you. For you there. You're getting a lot of love for it there. Here we go. Before you get out of here, Tim, Benjamin's asked, do you think the sound men and sound engineers should be held accountable for their complete fuck-ups? And if so, what charges the sound engineers of the Metallica Saint Anger LP face? All right. Tool.
So when it comes to the hard part with Saint Anger is that you'll find with Metallica, Lars does a lot of the production himself.
Yeah.
And a big part of that was the drum sound and shit. You also got to remember Bob Rock was a bass player on Saint Anger.
Yeah.
He was a producer.
Mm-hmm.
And the third problem with it is it's just overcompressed. But at the time, that's also a very 2003 problem. Every album in 2003 was overcompressed.
Yeah.
So you had like a combination of a product of its time, plus also a band that had nobody to say that's a bad idea, don't do that.
Yeah.
But also, them trying to do the whole garage band thing, but not really knowing how to do it.
Yeah.
So you had this kind of perfect storm of shit.
That was at the time as well about how much dysfunction there was in the band.
Yeah, exactly. And but when it comes to sound guys doing shit, if you're a well-known band, like, they have their own sound guys, like they hire their own dudes.
Yeah.
And not necessarily big bands, like medium-sized bands playing to 1,000 people a night will probably have their own sound guys. So that tours with them just as part of their entourage. So it's part of the crew. It's part of the crew.
I think it's less of a problem for live shows than it is for studio albums, to be honest. For a big enough band, I mean.
Yeah, but studio albums, like, once you get to a certain level, like, you can play.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of, like, knowing what you want. Like, I'll give you an example. Like the Orange album, we set back dozens of pictures saying, nope, change this. Yeah. But that's just, part of doing an album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, isn't it? Dave, what do you think of this? Because the band always has to sign off, don't they? It's never like the producer overrides the band. So, and I know you like Saint Anger. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Saint Anger, I think the major problem with that is the songs weren't ready to be recorded. Because the DVD that came with the original release, that was the first time they played the songs through from start to finish.
Yeah.
And you can tell the songs are too long. They needed to trim some fat.
That's coming from you.
They Pro Tool. I've always said the songs are too long to not have solos.
Yeah.
Songs themselves there's some fucking great lyrics on there. There's some great riffs. Gotta trim the fat. I can overlook the shitty production. I grew up copying tapes off copies. I don't If a song's good, it'll shine through shit production.
Yeah.
If a song's shit, good production isn't going to save it. So if I can find a good song, it doesn't have to be Flash. But yeah, the songs are too long on that album. I think that comes down to the band. But yeah, like Tim said, the Metallica are pretty hands-on with the mixing and the recording process. So I wonder if it is down to what they wanted.
Yeah. Well, I even go back to or afterwards when you get to Death Magnetic, how Rick Rubin and the band signed off on that one, and that's compressed to the absolute shithouse. You know, we're talking about the same band that signed off on Justice for All. You know, like,
oh man, but even go back to like when Justice for All came out. Like Slayer would have been doing like South of Heaven.
Yeah, thereabouts.
How much better does South of Heaven sound than Justice for All?
And the funny thing is, Rick Rubin did South of Heaven, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then then they did Death Magnetic with Metallica, and then that's compressed the absolute bejesus. I don't know. So I think it's.
Well, I mean, one of the greatest metal sounding metal albums of all time is Toxicity.
Yeah.
Which is Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
So
at the same time, you got Black Album was Bob Rock, but he was also involved in Sinanga. I don't.
Yeah, but again, I think that would have been a different. That would have been a point in time where Bob Rock was the big name producer at that point.
That's it.
He's coming off of Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah,
and he can tell Metallica, no, you're doing this wrong.
Yeah.
By the time you get to Sinanga, he needs Metallica more than they need him.
Most likely. Yeah, good point. It's
different dynamic.
Yeah, true. Very true. Good point. But I think at the end of the day, it's never just the engineer or the sound guy. I think that it always, like you said, Tim, bands send things back and forth. There's always debate and argument over the mix. You watch the 1.5 documentary where even then when Bob Rock was the fucking man and Metallica are arguing with him about what they do and don't want in the final mix and all that sort of stuff. It always has a lot of back and forth between bands. You get the final.
But I mean, like, who told? Like, I can't believe nobody told Lars, "Hey man, put your snares on."
Yeah, well, that's it.
Like,
it make it sound like a snare, not a fucking empty bucket.
Yeah. Tune the harmonics out.
Yeah.
Put the snares on. That'll fix some problems.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have a deliberately out of tune guitar.
Well, yeah, because it's trying to compat.
Kurt Cobain, you might.
Pardon?
What was that?
If you're Kurt Cobain, you might have a deliberately out of tune guitar.
Well, I mean, like, there's different things. Like, I know when I think it's Scar Tissue by the Chili Peppers has the B string is slightly flat on the recording.
Okay.
But he's somehow like with the way he plays it, he compensates a little bit for it. But you can hear there are points where the B string specifically is out of tune. But again, like there's difference between like a quirk like that and just being flat out of tune.
Yeah, there's a big difference because one you can sort of make a quirk, the other one just sounds bad. It's Yeah, I think the long and short of it, though, is that it's never as simple as blaming a producer or an engineer. Maybe in a live show, you can blame the sound guy more than that because the band hasn't really got much to say in the live show. You've only got the fallback to go on, and that's it.
Yeah.
But for a record or an EP or a single, there's a lot of back and forth when the band and the producer. It's never just the producer's call.
Especially like when you get to a bigger level band as well.
Yeah.
Then you got, management's going to have their say. And
the label has their say.
The label are going to have their say. There's going to be different people because the band's going to be a business.
Yeah.
And there's going to be different partners that have a claim in that business, that have a stake in it.
Yep.
And they're all going to have their say as well.
Yep.
So, yeah.
There we go. That answer your question, Ben? There we go. So, to which Danny said, Sinanga, don't even start. And, there we go. He also said the drum sound is shocking, to say the least, on that one. Darren, changing gears. TC, spot on. Megadeth's new single is fucking awesome. So, there we go.
I got to hear the thing.
Yeah, I got to hear it. We'll get out of here in a second, Dave, when we can all go and listen to it. Conrad says it's the band's final decision how an album sounds. However, if you are a small independent band, you probably aren't going to get the production values to sound like a Black Album. Live, a sound engineer cannot polish a turd. You can cover it in glitter, but the band knowing how to use their onstage equipment properly helps immensely. Also says, Lars spent a shit ton of money or shit ton of cash on that snare. God knows why. He could have just gone down to the records yard and grabbed a used 44-gallon oil can. So there we go. Sananga is one of those whipping boy albums. It really is. But it is what it is. It was
with drums too. Like,
yeah, well, you're the drummer.
It's all about how you play it.
Yeah.
Like Rob Hurst from Midnight Oil quite literally would go down to a metal yard, grab some big sheets of metal and make it sound awesome.
Well, Jackson Firebird, bottle bin.
Yeah.
And it works. So, take your pick. You can make it work. There's a reason why there's a percussion, like you go back to Pink Floyd and there's, or bigger bands, and there's percussion as an instrument overall. Yeah. And it can be used well. It's just got to be done right. That's all. Anywho, I think we'll let you get out of here, Tim. Thank you for that.
I'll catch you later.
Yep.
Whitesnake album is awesome. Just I haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah. What would you give it? Quick rating. What would you sort of give it out of 10?
I reckon it's better than most of the albums from that era, but underrated.
Yeah.
It's underrated. Like you people when you get to that era again, people go back to Dr. Feelgood and the first Guns N' Roses album and all that, and rightfully so. This album is up there, but doesn't get that same. It doesn't get that same prestige.
Yeah. Well, I think in Dave we did the King of the Riff thing. This one came second from memory.
Yep.
Just like it was that much in it. Like it was really fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. This is like cream of the crop hard rock album.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. There we go. There's a nice little precursor while we get stuck into things. But yeah, cheers for that, Tim. Good to see you again.
Good. I'll see you probably next week.
Yeah, beautiful. We'll catch you soon, mate. Take it easy.
All right.
Alrighty, Dave. Let's bring it home. One more to go, then we can all get out of here. We've got a couple of comments here. What have we got? Benjamin's gone. I appreciate you guys. Right back at you, mate. Most welcome. TC says it should have come first. Yes, we know why it didn't, but it should have. And Conrad said if he's talking 1987, it's an absolute classic. Yes, we are about to get stuck straight into that, Conrad, so you've come at the right time. Alrighty, so for those who don't know, have been living under a rock or need a bit of a refresh, in the comments, in the description box, you're going to find a link to Whitesnake and the song Still of the Night. I went with that one for all the obvious reasons in the world, but I have no problem with it being obvious, so I'm just going to run with it. So Whitesnake, Still of the Night is your reference track for this album, while Dave, you and I are going to go to our classic album review for this week. This is Whitesnake, with Whitesnake, also known as 1987. 11 tracks, 53 minutes, what is basically the amalgamated version today. It's the 7th studio album from the British band, released March and April 1987 by Geffen, CBS and Sony, EMI and Rhino as well. Produced by Mike Stone and Keith Olsen at 5 different studios across Canada, Bahamas and California. 4 singles were released from this, including Still of the Night and Here I Go Again. The album peaked number 2 in the US, number 8 in the UK, number 23 here in Australia, with a host of top 40s worldwide. It's been certified 8 times platinum in the US, platinum in the UK, 5 times platinum in Canada. What have we got here? Platinum or gold in at least 6 other countries as well. This is the only album on which David Coverdale and John Sykes would work together. And it was also the final album with bassist Neil Murray. This album marked a shift in sound and image for the band. The album is celebrating its 35th anniversary this year, and it's this week's Patreon choice classic album review. If you want to get involved in that, sign up to our Patreon page just for a couple of bucks a month, and you get to vote on these ones on a weekly basis. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy doing these ones. We do these every single week. So let's get into it, Dave. We know we both love it, but let's give our thoughts.
Okay. I have to come clean. When we did the King of the Ring tournament battle earlier this year, this album was in it from we did 1987. That was my first time actually hearing this album in full.
That's right.
I grew up hearing the singles, knew the singles really well. I had In the Still of the Night and Here I Go Again on various compilation albums, but never actually heard the whole album in full. Glad I finally have listened to it, because it's half a great album. Half.
Ooh, man.
I will get to my reasons for that soon. Okay? I know I'm going to piss off a lot of Whitesnake fans. I'm going to apologize.
Man, you're going to get lynched digitally.
I am.
I
was joking with Tim on Facebook that I'm glad we don't do these in front of an audience anymore, because I would not make it out the room.
That's
Now,
true.
half a great album. Okay, first up, John Sykes is a fucking awesome guitar player, and he is criminally underrated. That guy can fucking play. Okay. Got to get that out of the way. John Sykes fucking rules. Okay. Crying in the Rain, great opening track, awesome solo from John Sykes, big choruses, vocals, everything that was cool about 80s rock. In the Still of the Night, all-time classic, truly epic composition, great use of space in the riffs, lyrics and vocal performances are excellent. I could listen to that song over and over. I wish we had more of that, and a little less of all the love and broken heart stuff that dominates the second half of the album. The tempo's changed, but ultimately it's the same theme over and over. And towards the end, I just don't want to fucking smash my head into a wall. And honestly, with the exception of In the Still of the Night, Bad Boys on the Corner, and Children of the Night, it's really only about love and heartbreak. And there's really only so much of that I can take. I need more diversity in an album. Is this love? It's okay if I'm in the right mood. The power ballad's done pretty well. There are other bands that have done really good power ballads as well. And they don't leave you feeling moist. I hope Wayne's watching. As I said, man, John Sykes is an awesome guitarist, and towards the end of the album, his solos are the only thing that are saving some of these songs. Looking for Love, and You're Gonna Break My Heart, listening to it and like, it's the same gushy, sappy, fucking Roy Orbison-inspired lyrics, and I'm getting so bored. Hey, there's a fucking great solo in this song. Things are picking up. Especially Looking for Love. The solo at the end of that is fucking amazing. Now, I honestly started wishing that David Coverdale was singing death metal, then I could just ignore the lyrics. Can you imagine that?
Oh, wow. You are going to get fucking...
I'm going to get fucking killed, I know. Like I said, I'm glad we don't have an audience. I mean, obviously you guys are living, but if you were like in front of me, I can see the death stares.
Oh, mate, I can't wait to read all the comments. My God.
Okay, I do prefer John Sykes' work on Thin Lizzy's Thunder and Lightning. That was a straight-up heavy metal album. This is targeted straight for MTV, and due to that, I think he had to dial it back. He's not... and he's not pushed up as front on this as he is on that Thin Lizzy album. That's a guitar blazing. This is a I Want to Get Girls album. And, in the video clip, Dave Mustaine from Megadeth sums it up. She's trying to swallow cars with her vagina. That's a perfect way to sum it up. Dave Mustaine's words. If you see that video clip, she's giving it a damn good try. Okay, look, there's no denying David Coverdale is a fantastic singer. I agree, 100%. I love his voice. I just wish he had more variety in the subject matter. There are times where he reminds me of Robert Plant, and Zeppelin are way better. When it's good, it's great. When it's just the same theme over and over, it's the same tempo, same theme, different tempo. Just fuck. There's more to life, people. Now, I'm sure I've pissed off a bunch of Whitesnake fans. I'm sorry. I will end the review with this. David Coverdale is obviously a much better singer than Vince Neil. But Motley Crue have better songs overall.
Oh, mate.
I give it 8 out of 10. My standouts are Still the Night, Here I Go Again, and John Sykes guitar solos.
What'd you give it out of 10 again?
8. When it's good, it's great.
Wow. I didn't expect it that high. Okay.
No, like I said, it's half a great album. It just needs more diversity to be truly as legendary as people claim. I think it's seriously overrated.
Wow. I can't wait to read out the comments later on. You're going to get a chuckle out of these. This is going to be fun. Let me finish my review, folks, and then I'll read out every single one of these comments because there's a few coming through. All righty. See, for me, I'm going to go the opposite direction, Dave. I think that for how much the radio hits are out there, things like, Is This Love or Here I Go Again, those are the ones that get, the most sort of radio play, quote unquote. This one has a lot more balls to it than people are giving it credit for, including Dave. Crying in the Rain is a great opening track on this one. There's great energy across this one, some serious chops on display. I mean, you got David Coverdale and John Sykes. What the fuck is there not to expect in that regard? You're going to get both, and they both show off plenty, and it all serves the songs just right. Sykes is blistering on this. It is a damn shame that we only got one album from this lineup. I reckon they could have done a whole lot more and it'd be fucking brilliant. I don't know what the hell happened, but fuck. They teamed up and it worked. There was magic in these songs for me. There are some great energy, like I was saying before, but I think that not to be overlooked with the lead work and the vocals, the bass lines and the rhythm section overall, they really do drive these songs. And also, they provide the groove and the space and the foundation for Coverdale and Sykes to launch from. Without those elements, this wouldn't be the same thing, but they're just as important. They don't get the credit, but they are just as important. They do a great job holding all this up. I thought there were some great lyrics on here, Dave. Some really good storytelling in this one as well. Coverdale is on fire with his delivery too, not only from the singing, but also the attitude and performance across this. And I think there is, just from a pure vocal point of view, some stunning vocals on this. Coverdale smokes it. You go back and dig into the album's history, there were some health issues going on, and fuck me dead, he sounds like $1 million. When things get stripped back and there's, he's not belting notes out. His touch and his control and his singing is second to none. It's just as good as the belted out moments. There's great feel, great groove. When this swings, it swings hard. Still of the Night is a fucking prime example of just how much this can fucking go. I reckon when they really crank it up, it just goes bang. But they've also got, some nice pace, some good atmosphere with the addition of the keys here and there as well. They've got a lot of depth to the sound across this one. All the vintage tones are here. The space is used really well. It's got such a great, great mix. The attention to detail, layering, the push and pull across this thing, especially for the vocals. How they've changed the positioning of the vocals sonically to add to that push and pull to the tension and release kind of thing. They did a really good job of it. The soft and heavy sides of this mix just leap out of the speakers equally. It's just brilliant. I love the depth across it. And I thought the album flow was great, Dave. I'm going to completely disagree with you. I thought the album flow was fantastic. Great use of peaks and troughs across this one. The guest solos from Adrian Vandenberg on Here I Go Again and Vivian Campbell on Give Me All Your Love fit in seamlessly too. So there's some nice guest spots on here. There are some all-time greats on this one, love or hate it, but everyone knows Here I Go Again. Everyone knows that song. Also the same with Is This Love. This album really did leave a stamp in music history as far as I'm concerned. It is a little bit, time dated by that now, but at the same time, it hasn't got that aged impact. It still sounds really, really fresh. And all these songs stay with you. I love all these songs. They're so damn well written and performed. I think it's one of those albums where your standouts will change for you on every single spin. Each time you listen to it, you'll go, no, that song's the best. No, then the next time it's that song's the best. I think it's fucking fantastic from top to bottom. This would have gone off live. There's hooks for days across this one. And Children of the Night sees both Coverdale and Sykes just get off the chain in absolutely every fucking way possible. They both just go, here you go nuts. And they do. And it just went so well. That song in particular live would be fucking fantastic. I don't get tired of this album. I can spin it over and over again, Dave. And I think, if anything, this one ages like wine to me. I think this is one of the best ones out there. It takes you back in all the right ways to a simpler time in life. It's got all the cliches, but none of the cringe for me. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I fucking really do enjoy it. It was only just because of just worldwide cultural impact that it got pipped at the post by a bee's dick in our little King of the Rift tournament. But yeah, for me, this is a standout fucking album. 10 out of 10, like I was saying. If you have to pick standouts, my all-time ones are going to be Still of the Night, Give Me All Your Love, and Children of the Night as well on that one. So 2 different points of view on that one. Still scored pretty highly, but 2 very different points of view across that one. Now, let's get to the comments because here we go. Going to start off. Benjamin says, one of my favorite guitar players is John Sykes. There we go. Vinny says, it's pure sex, end to end. Sad to know Tawny Kitten passed away last year there. So that was sad news as well there too. Conrad says, I love this record. John Sykes was largely responsible for the guitar sound, riffs, and songwriting. Danny says, Whitesnake absolutely killed it and killed it. I've always loved their amazing sound. Great songwriting. TC says, Here I Go Again wasn't even on the early presses of this album. So here we go. And Nicole says, I love this album. It's the only one of theirs I own. But then Dave got started. Vinny, in the bin, Dave. It's a reply to a comment, sorry, there. Now, Basher says, great album. David Coverdale with an awesome band, especially John Sykes on guitar. Faves are Still of the Night, Here I Go Again, Straight for the Heart, Crying in the Rain, Is This Love, and Bad Boys. If you like John's guitar playing, I was impressed with his album Bad Boys Live, which included songs from his album on Thin Lizzy's Thunder and Lightning. He also sings very well on all those songs, which is nicely done there. Thank you for the input there, Basha. Danny says, damn, in the bin for you, Dave. He says, Dave, get in the bin. This is a masterpiece. Danny again says, get in the bin. I regret that beer I bought you. Oh, here we go. Dave, I'm with you on this. Sykes is a brilliant guitarist, but this album is overrated. That's from Darren. So you got some support. It's not all hate for you.
Cool.
Conrad's gone with the obligatory, can you write a better record, Dave? Nah, none of us can. That's why we review.
Those it'd be great if the lyrics were better in some songs.
What was that?
It'd be great if the fucking songs weren't the same thing towards the end. It's all the same thing. God.
Rowan has replied, I only own the Vi one, which is where we get into that other would you rather comment from a few weeks back. Nicole's got on a hologram, so we're getting a whole lot of fun here. Danny says 8, but only half great. This is like the old Jimmy reviews. I didn't like it, but I gave an 8 out of 10.
Well, everything but the lyrics. Everything but the lyrics.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. I think Dave had the cabbage in his last burger. That's from Vinny. So there we go. Not lettuce, cabbage. Conrad, David Coverdale has more musical talent. He's fast and all Motley Crue. So there we go. What do we got here? Benjamin says
Machine Gun. Better songs. No,
it's a debate. Machine Gun Kelly's overdue for the bin. Well, I think we've done that before, but hey, you can go in there any time of the day. Lee says it's time to make Dave great again. Oh, here we go. He says, I give your review 2 out of 10. Danny says, you've started a ruckus. Back on the Machine Gun Kelly, it's he should be called Water Pistol Nelly. Oh, this is gold. TC says it's a 10 out of 10 album. Hey, I agree. And then Danny says, the tones, Dave, the tones. And I agree with that too. The tones are fantastic.
Yeah, musically, it's fantastic.
Okay. Sally says, we listened to this album a hell of a lot. I haven't listened to it for years, aside from Hailstorm's cover of Still of the Night. I used to be into every song, not anymore. Don't Turn Away is a bit too much now, unless you're drunk and soily. The Crying in the Rain is probably the best on this for me. Still a 7.5. Used to be a 10. There we go. Yeah. Danny says, bring back Tim. I don't know, lower score than you. Danny says, bring back Tim. Ben says, my little sister once said 987, and she said, who's that trying to sing? I'm still wondering what the fuck. Jeez, wow. Danny says, hooks for Dave's. That's probably how this is going to end up for a live audience.
I might not go out in public for a few weeks.
Yeah, you might have to stay a bit low. Asher says, David Coverdale also recorded an album with Jimmy Page. In my opinion, it's up there with this album. His vocals are amazing, especially Don't Leave Me This Way. And Conrad says, and what is wrong with hot chicks riding around on cars? Perhaps Dave would like to see Axl Rose riding around on
Well, I prefer hot chicks on cars, but yeah, Dave Mustang had a comment and I thought it was funny. But yeah. Every song towards the end is just sap.
No, here we go. And back to Benjamin's sister. He's gone. His sister can get in the bin after the not knowing who this was. So there we go. We're getting some more going on there. What do we got here? Rowan says, nice coincidence. Jorn formed a band. Going back here. Jorn formed a band with ex-Whitesnake band members called The Snakes. Their first album was horrible, but their live album of most of the Whitesnake songs is incredible. Jorn singing Whitesnake would fucking be impressive, actually. He could fucking nail it. Vinny says Dave wasn't in love back then, hence the hate on the lyrics. I'm not sure if Dave's in love today.
I'm married, I better be.
No, I'm stirring the fuck as I can.
7 years old when it came out.
Danny says, I love you, Dave. You're just wrong, though, this time around. And Michael, good to see you over on YouTube. Here I Go Again was on Saints and Sinners, and then it reappeared on this album. Well, there we go.
It's also in Cobra Kai. Points for that.
Yes. Fuck. You find a way to weave Cobra Kai into just about everything. It's remarkable.
Every episode.
It is a skill for you. It is a skill. When there's a way between seasons, you find a way to weave it into absolutely everything about your life, Cobra Kai. It's remarkable.
I didn't mention flanger tonight. None of these albums had flanger.
No, someone else did, though.
Yeah.
So, in the comments earlier on about you It's funny, you were being all sort of horned up earlier on, and then there we go. All right, here we go. Vinny says, okay, I've been redeemed with Cobra Kai. And then Danny says Dave still come out on top. So there we go. He survived. He survived the gauntlet there of the online comment. All righty. That about wraps us up, though. So we'll quickly do a bit of a thank you here to some Patreon supporters. So TC, Sonia, Lee, Bell, Conrad, Jason, Brendan, 16x9, Marty, Sam, Trash, Carolyn, Gwyneth, Andrew, Daniel, Man Family, thank you all so much for your support there over on Patreon. If you'd like to help us out, please do check out the page in the comments. Oh, sorry, it's in the description box, I should say, to go and check that out. Any help you can give us there is greatly, greatly appreciated. What else we got? So we're already on, but if you wanted to watch us on Channel 44 in Adelaide every Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. local time for South Australia, we're on there. And 10:30 p.m. Saturday nights in Melbourne, we're on telly. This weekend, coming up Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. on Channel 31, we have our marathon. So this time around, the 2-hour episode is all to do with cameos in music videos and guest spots in songs, which is a fun episode we did there, which is the one that's been referenced to how much fun we had filming that one the other day. And then, there's a marathon afterward of a couple of older episodes as well. And then, we're back to normal after that with a whole lot coming up. We've got next month, got a couple of normal episodes where it's, new and Aussie stuff. And then we got one for the early Bon Jovi stuff. Then we'll have an audience choice or audience request kind of episodes as well. So keep an eye on our socials. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, get in the comments, all that sort of stuff to keep up to date with this, because in the description box, find us on your preferred social media platform and give us a follow, and do the same thing to our fantastic sponsors. A big thank you to Squidding, Scrimping, Alt Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in the description box. Give them a like, a follow, all that sort of stuff. Greatly helps them, helps us too, obviously, for all the right reasons. So please do check them all out and check us out too. And if you want to get in touch with us, we get a few Facebook messages and stuff. Best way to send something through is via email. So media@thehardrockshow.com. That email address is also in the description box. So if you want to get in touch with us, the best way to do so is via email. Otherwise, just get in the comments and give us your thoughts as we go through on things. Next week in the stream, I reckon, I haven't confirmed yet, but we're probably going to do Hatebreed. That's the classic album for the week. Burn the Highway is the Aussie release for the week. And then probably do Porcupine Tree and Ailstorm the way things are planning out. This week, everything goes to plan, so that'll keep everyone happy. But that's what's going on coming up this week, and for whatever else in the next foreseeable future. What have we got here? Darren says Whitesnake have a habit of rehashing songs. So there we go. Danny says thank you guys. You're most welcome. And Rowan says Fool If You Love Him was also on the Vi album. So there we go. Here we go. Vinny says thanks, bloke. Eagle Fangs never dies. So there we go. All righty, before we get out of here, let's get to the bin. Dave, what have you got for the bin tonight?
The Reserve Bank can go in the bin. The cost of living's gone up, petrol's gone up, groceries have gone up, gas has gone up, electricity's gone up, and you want to fix this by raising the fucking mortgages of people. Haven't people suffered enough? Come on, you're not going to fix it by doing that. You just make things a lot harder for everyone. Reserve Bank in the fucking bin.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to go a bit more. This might be my turn to get flamed out of the comments. But I am going to put Manowar in the bin. Fuck me dead. They've done it again where they've lined up a gig to play on and then pulled out because the original contract isn't being honoured or whatever the terms may be. So they're holding another festival up, and they did it with was it Varkin or was it Hellfest a few years back, and now they're doing it to another one now. So Manowar on their ridiculous, I don't know what it is that they're doing when it comes to being booked and then not playing. It's odd. So weird. But Manowar just in the bin. I mean, I'm not
never trust a man in a loincloth.
That's it. I'm not a huge fan of the music. They're talented as fuck. Don't get me wrong, they are talented. But I just can't. I struggle with the songs. But for a band like that run around in loincloths to be complaining about their contractual obligations, when it's a big thing, just weird units. Manowar in the bin again. I know that Jimmy's fucking rolling somewhere going, no, you can't do that. And I'm going, yes, I can. Do it every week if I want to. But thank you all so much for jumping in. Conrad, I don't know what's going on with the dots, but thank you so much for being here tonight and jumping in late whenever you did so. And thank you for your support on Patreon too. Always greatly appreciated. But Michael has jumped into saying, Michael Carden saying, yep, Crying in the Rain, same Saints and Sinners album 1987 as well. Benjamin says, great to see you guys tonight. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Here we go. And please review the new Megadeth song for the next live stream, please. I'm sure we will do that. That is definitely going to be on the cards. We've been hammered with it My phone notifications have gone off with it, so don't worry. It'll be definitely getting a run, and we'll add it to our For those who want to keep up to date, we have a current listening playlist, so make sure you check out that on Spotify as well. That'll keep you up to date with every Friday. We update that one, and that gives you what we're listening to for this week coming up. But that about does us for tonight. Darren has gone. Cheers, guys. Great show. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for getting the comments, and hopefully you had some fun with us tonight. It's been a good time all around. But, yeah, make sure you look after yourselves, and we'll see you all again very, very soon, as always. Until then, though, I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
As always,
Drink up.
and rock on.